Hello, and welcome to the Stream of Chaos. My name is Dave, and I will be your keeper of arcane lore for this session of Call of Cthulhu. Today we are continuing our playthrough of the Two-Headed Serpent, and you can get your own copy of this campaign from Chaosium.com. All of our previous live plays, as well as the earlier episodes in this series, are available over on the Chaosium YouTube. So if you want to check those out, please head over there, as well as a bunch of interviews and other bits and bobs. If you're watching there and you do want to join us live, we do stream live each week over on our Twitch channel at 3 p.m. Pacific. That's on Fridays. And we also have a Discord, which we have a bunch of people chatting in and hanging out, and it's a great time. Finally, there's also a wiki that's been set up over the course of this campaign. It's being updated, and I was just checking it out the other day to double check the horrible things that were done. So it's excellent and very helpful.
It's so excellent. It's a labor of love, I believe, largely from our mod and clipper extraordinaire RQ Stefan.
Champion. That's right.
Where it's due.
Absolutely. And I also want to say thank you to Roll20 and Sirenscape for being tools that we use to improve our games. And without further ado, let's return to the deserts. We'll do a run across and have each of you reintroduce your investigators, your heroes, as we are playing Pulp Cthulhu, and then we will haul back in. Setting the scene, Dr. Sam and Minnie have flown back to the small town of Bingham, while Hubert and Lieutenant Aries Carter stay with the Reverend Cornfield to bury the bodies of those that dared to get in their way. As we go around, Art, do you want to begin first?
Don't I always?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Art. I'm playing Lieutenant Aries Carter, who is a ex-military officer and femme fatale. Love that for them. Aries is out in the desert, feeling pretty good about how the interaction has gone thus far. We intercepted the Reverend, and after learning that he was doing his best, it's just that his best was bad.
Yes.
Kind of had a bit more of a change of heart and have decided to get this Reverend the assistance he needs to get him back on the straight and narrow, which in his case is actually God and not Frog Boy, who I'm now friends with.
No, you're friends with Yig. You are opposing Frog Boy. Frog Boy was shown and said, "That's no good. We hate that guy." Yeah, that's right. That was it was Yig's operation.
In that case, friends with Yig, but I do have a history with Frog Boy, so true. Yay for that. Yes, that is Aries, and I would like it known that Aries is much ado and not with little ado, because I think that's important to know.
Okay, awesome. All right, up next, Jackson.
Oh, well, that's me. I'm Jackson, and I'm playing Dr. Samuel Taylor Thompson, who's just here to have a good time and isn't having a great time, but that's okay. No. It'll all shake out all right.
What in particular didn't you enjoy? Or didn't Dr. Sam enjoy?
The snake diseases.
Yeah.
The skin peeling.
Yeah.
That's the big downer this week.
Bummer.
But there'll be a silver lining somewhere, I'm sure.
I do have bad news. There might be more.
Maybe a lot of people won't lose their skin. That's the silver lining I'm looking for.
Yeah, you're right. And, and Dr. Sam's looking for the positive, and he's here to help. And if there isn't a silver lining, he can always make one. All right.
That's right.
Up next, Jim playing Hubert.
Absolutely. I am Jim. I am playing Hubert, and you may notice I'm a slightly different tint of camera shade than usual. Some minor technical difficulties, which may or may not be resolved as we go through the stream. But regardless, I am here. I have just I got to Bane drop someone on my knee last session, which was pretty bloody cool, if I say so myself. And then I had to dig their grave. That was less cool. Yep. But, we're here now.
Which of the two is more spiritually fulfilling?
Well, I've been advised to take the fifth.
Yeah, might be a good call. Well, sweet, though. Actually, you might do a really cool job digging the graves. Who knows? There might be something awesome that happens there. All right, and finally, Alex and Minnie.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm playing Minnie. Minnie had a real time of it last session. Finally got through the desert, into the cave. Bless you. Because in the cave I found a corpse of the Reverend. The Reverend being the person who took me across the desert. So that was a bit of a moment. But I'd had a dream about this Reverend before, that he'd had an egg in his tum. So I did a quick feel around. Indeed, there was an egg, and then I hit a guy in the face with the egg from the Reverend's belly.
Yep.
And then spiked the egg, and then ran.
Mondays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm done. I'm out. No more fuck shit, thanks.
I'm ready to go home, crawl into bed, and have a nice mug of hot cocoa.
I need a cup of tea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was a day and a half.
And, that's kind
It sure
of...
was.
Yeah, it's kind of where everyone's at. Everyone's hoping that with this long day behind them, you can all head home and finally get some rest. There's been a sort of, not complex, but the plan of Dr. Sam and Minnie going back with the flying machine, resupplying while the others head back out, and then coming back to catch the rest of them with some horses and some extra supplies was thwarted in the early stages when you went to find horses and learned that they had already been procured. Two brothers, the Peace Brothers, who were also staying in your hotel, have already hired the horses as well as some extra ammunition for firearms that they must have already owned, and they have headed out into the desert after the Reverend. You don't know the specifics of what they intend to do, but they've followed the same trail, and there's little else out there to do. So it must be involved in some way. Now, what you want to do from here is up to you. You can decide to try and get the flying machine going up again. I think we will zoom in on Sam and Minnie first, because this is going to kind of set timing-wise, and then we'll go back and find out how Hubert and Ares have gotten on with a little grave digging. Sam and Minnie, after you first learned that the horse has been taken and someone else is out there, what would you like to do?
I think we have to get the plane back up. We have to warn them.
I think we got to head back out.
We can't let them be ambushed.
Let's grab whatever supplies we can and hit the skies again.
Some supplies and then get the plane going. I don't think the townspeople can wait.
Okay, so. By the time you touched back down, you were pretty light on fuel and water. You dumped all the supplies and you basically drained this engine on the way back. It took you about 3 hours to return, and in the intervening period, as you sort of hunted for horses and just had a walk around town, another hour has passed. So it's been about 4 hours since you last saw them. That would put us at about 5 or 6 p.m. Now, where it's not sunset yet, it's still a little bit longer. It should be in the next 2 hours or so, but time is shortening. So do you want to just go back and immediately try and resupply the engine and get it fueled up, noting that you still won't be able to carry the others in it, but you might be able to get to them faster?
Yeah, and we can at least get them supplies as well. We can warn them and get supplies to them.
Okay.
Make sure medical supplies.
And if the horses are gone anyway, it's kind of like... we can't take the caravan. We can't take a caravan back to them. Regardless, hopefully we can. The idea is that we fly back. We see the brothers. We neutralize the threat.
Once the threat is eliminated, then we'll have horses.
Then we have horses.
Problem solved. Okay, so beyond refueling, which I am going to get, Dr. Sam, I'm going to get you to make a mechanical repair roll. Just don't roll just yet, but just because you've been flying around in the desert and, dust gets choked in, you need to do this as quickly as possible. It's all speed. Is there anything else you want to do? Do you want to make sure you've got some extra weapons? Do you want to make sure you've, loaded up on food in case you get stranded out there for a couple of days? Is there any...
I am going to get my weapons because I wasn't allowed to take any of them with me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping Minnie can do a quick supply run because Dr. Sam's going to hang out near the blacksmith to, resupply and repair, but also see if he can, just get a quick update on, and I've forgotten her name already, the blacksmith's wife, who's, of course, not doing so hot.
That's Pearl. Yeah. Okay.
Pearl, who I was treating earlier in the day, right?
Yes. God, it was earlier today. That's right. When you first when you first departed.
No, it was yesterday.
Yesterday was when you did the first
yesterday.
room, and this today, I guess, yeah, you just headed out. Yeah, right. So just yesterday.
Because there was some concerns that smashing that egg and slaying some of the cultists may have adversely impacted those in town. So I wouldn't mind looking in on her when time allows.
If you've landed, depending on where you've landed, just as a reminder, like we do have people in the town that are friendly enough that maybe you could get one to like go take word to someone if that's.
Well, I'm gonna land near the blacksmith because that's where the repairs will happen. So it works out pretty well.
Okay, all good. So you're going to do the repairs and touch in with the blacksmiths. Minnie, is there anything further you want to do?
I think that's probably all I'm going to have time for. Resupply and collect my pistol.
Okay, all right. So in that case, collecting your pistol, are you going to go back via the hotel?
I'm going to do the supplies first because the hotel thing, I feel like that could potentially necessitate a quick exit.
It could, yeah.
So I'm going to deal with the supplies first.
All right.
And then swing back by the hotel and hopefully get in and out without being noticed. I'm pretty good at that. So
yeah, fingers crossed. Okay, so then honing in on this then, as you go even just to get supplies, you head in towards the department store and the bell rings, and as you begin to go along the shelves, quickly grabbing first aid kits, some extra cans of food, water bottles, all the things that you'll need to do a little rescue operation, rope, stuff like that. Unless you are particularly trying to avoid them, you will be noticed at some point, even just by the two women that work in the store. I mean,
the women who work in the store are obviously going to see me because I have to purchase goods.
Yes.
But otherwise, I'm going to be trying to just kind of be like, nobody needs to know that I'm back yet because I really probably shouldn't be back yet, given the timing, because I flew a plane back. So yes, I'm going to try and avoid people. And I think I also owe you some sanity checks.
You do, as you begin to sober up. So actually, yeah, you're right. The hangover's kind of beginning to kick in a little bit as you cart your wares up towards the front desk and try to pay. Can you first give me a sanity roll? You're actually going to make 2 of these, and these are for observing the corpse and then the the remnants of the session where you egg dropped someone.
Yes. Yes, it's for observing the corpse and then going into the corpse. Yes, correct.
Defiling, yeah. All right.
Getting up, defiling the corpse, really, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and give me a sanity roll.
Which one was the corpse?
Okay, that's a success. There's going to be none for the first one.
Nice.
You're all good.
Fine, that's fine. Dead people were all good. Dead people are fine. You know what? Sticking my arm into that thing, not good. Not good.
Holy moly,
I think I'm taking the goods up to the counter and like, there's some shit under my nails and it's not dirt.
Yes.
Just looking at it, I'm like,
you can sort of feel it coming over you. Now, this is going to be a D6 of sanity points. If you can go ahead and roll that for me.
Oh no.
What? That has potential to be
I'm so excited.
5.
I could go mad in the shop.
Well,
Wait, hang on. Okay, quick. For our viewers who may not be familiar with the sanity rule differences, if there are any, also me, between pulp and standard, we don't do major wounds in pulp, but we still do temporary.
You do. There can still very much be a bout of madness. Now, there's a couple rolls in here because also you were drunk, so you're going to get an intelligence. There's a few bits and pieces, but go ahead and roll the D6 for us first, and we'll see how.
Because I decided that emptying my flask was going to be a good idea as soon as I got into the cave.
Oh shit. Okay, make an intelligence roll for me immediately.
I'm not actually that smart, so
that might be good.
Okay, today I am.
Oh shit. Okay. So here's what that means. Firstly, that was a big hit. That was enough to possibly have a bout of madness. Secondly, that intelligence success means that through the drunken haze, you're remembering everything. And you begin to wander through the aisles, and you can sort of hear, there'd be no air conditioning. You'd have like the hiss of the air conditioning. But as you walk between them, you can...
Whir of fans?
Yeah, exactly. And
it'd be fans.
Begin to feel kind of trapped in. You recall the cave, and then suddenly the back door swings open where they have like a cold room, and inside there, suddenly your vision sort of focuses in on the slab in the back where they would huck meat to pieces to sell to folks, and you remember the cave and the body laid out, and it's all beginning to overwhelm you. You are going to take that full 6, and I'm immediately going to need to make an intelligence roll to see if this will trigger a bout.
We're playing Call of Cthulhu. Hell yeah.
Yay!
I think this
Why am I smart today?
The first time we've had
Why
like
am I
something
smart
happen
today?
outside
I've
of
got
combat.
She's never
robot.
been smart.
lovely mad
Nice
effect.
baby.
Okay, Minnie, can you go ahead and roll?
That's fine.
a
I can
D10 for
go
me?
on my own.
Yeah, you might have to. I feel like I stopped standing in front of the shelf with the eggs on it. I was looking at them.
Yes, absolutely.
Lucky 7.
Okay. So, I'm just going to tell you, Alex. So, the result of 7 is show off. You become an attention-seeking maniac for 1d10 rounds, possibly prone to foolhardy acts. So, and you are also the
That's
only
fine.
one to have returned. As you begin to go
We
along,
start eating eggs.
or just being one of the only survivors to come back, or possibly bragging about the events that took place. So as
Yeah.
you're going through them, everything's sort of pushing to
everything's-
ahead.
Yeah, it comes really sharp and colorful, and I'm like, fuck, I survived that. I got through that. I got through that.
You suddenly come
Immediately
face to
insufferable.
face with one of the women that works in the store, and she's holding produce as she's refilling shelves, and she'll stop and say, "You're back. Did you turn back?
No. Why
Where's
would I
everyone
turn
else?
back?
Where's the
I don't know.
reference?
No.
What do you mean? So you finished the passage?
Oh, well, I suspect he's in the desert somewhere. You know, he's not half of the tracker that he makes himself out to be.
What happened?
Ooh.
You know, I had to carry the sheriff most of the way. Me.
That's not. Are you all right, Miss?
Never been better. Can you bring these up for me?
You sort of
I'm going to go back out there. It was just so much fun.
push past her, and you're in like, imagine like.
I
Not
look
necessarily blood, but like
bad,
black
dude.
caked pieces. Your hair's just a complete mess. There's
I look not good. Well, because the Reverend grabbed my hair and slammed my head against a wall. So Dr. Sam fixed me up a little bit, but I look bad, man.
blood caked through
I'm
it. You're
definitely
grabbing just-
sunburnt.
Hell yes, piles of supplies. You head up to the
Lips
top
peeling. It's not good.
and drop it all down, and they'll ring you up and you can pay. That's no issue. And as you turn to go, you can see the woman. This will be Enid is talking with the other one, and immediately she heads out as you get to the door to open it for you, and they're watching you very curiously as you depart and head down onto the street. You don't necessarily notice because you're so kind of focused on
And I'm-
yourself at the moment, but she will
Attention
dart
seeking and
across.
bragging, right?
Yes.
So as I'm leaving, I'm going to turn back around. Did you know anybody who was having health difficulties in the town? You know, there were some people who were having some interesting medical problems, I believe.
Do you mean
And
people
what
that
the hell they're doing? And I'm going to leave.
And then she looks to another, and clearly taken aback, one of them darts off, heading further into the town, as you, carrying an armful of pieces, head towards the hotel. You can still feel this sort of like swelling of confidence inside you. You guys are heroes. You're people that have, you've overcome far greater difficulties in this small region, and you feel 100%. Yeah, you feel fantastic.
Very smug about it. And you know what? I'm done with playing this whole time I've been in town. I've just been, playing this character of somebody who's plagued by these terrible nightmares and just can't deal with it any longer. I'm done. I'm so done with that.
Okay. Where are you heading to?
Oh, I'm going to the hotel. I'm going to the hotel. I'll go straight to the hotel.
Are you going to try and sneak in, or are you just walking?
No,
Okay.
I'm just walking in. In fact, I'm probably walking in hoping for a confrontation.
So as you walk along the street heading towards it, people are kind of stepping back and away, basically, leaving a wake behind you as folks avoid you and gossip, whisper. Rumors already spreading like wildfire. And before you can get to the door, you can still see the hotel a bit further along. It suddenly swings open, and Rosemary charges out onto the small veranda. She swings her head back and forth looking for you. You can see her hair is slightly in disarray, and she's clutching a handkerchief in the other side, and suddenly she sees you. She waves it towards you, hoiks up her skirt, charges down the stairs, and rushes towards you in the street, where she sees you and stands still looking at you, and you can see red eyes, tears streaked down the side of her face, and she's just looking at you amazed for the moment.
Afternoon, and I'll sidestep around her and keep going into the hotel.
Minnie, what? Are you okay? Is everything all right? Where's the Reverend? Where's
I
the
don't
sheriff? What do you mean you don't know?
The sheriff is. Oh. The sheriff. The sheriff had a bad time. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think you'll be seeing him again.
What do you mean, dear? What do you mean we won't be seeing him again? Minnie, what happened? Tell me what happened.
I don't think I can, Rosemary. Your brain would simply explode.
Don't say things like that, Minnie. I'm just trying to help you. I'd just like to know where the Reverend is and how everything
In
went.
the desert somewhere, I presume.
Did you witness what he took you there for? Did you complete the pilgrimage?
Yes. No, I absolutely did. Rosemary, darling, I feel like the changes that you've made to your Bible, I feel like you should maybe walk some of those back and just stick with just a bit of good old Protestant preaching, maybe just walk back some of that radical stuff. Let's just leave it at that, shall we?
Minnie, don't. How? After we opened our arms to you, and after the Reverend bore you into the desert, you saw his sermon. Yeah. How can you?
He bore me not. I bore the sheriff the whole way. I had to carry that man. He's not a light man, and he oiled himself up. It was very strange.
Minnie, to lift up a brother and to help them to take the passage. I understand these must have been hard, and you're probably that. Why don't you come inside? I'll make you a tea or something, and we can talk about this.
I'm not having a tea though. I'm getting my pistol.
A pistol?
Correct.
Wilhelmina,
yes.
And she's following you as you head towards your door. The husband is parked behind the desk watching this, and she stomps behind you the whole way. He just watches you go. She stomps behind you the whole way as you get towards your door, and when you throw the door open and like swing open your suitcase and go to find the pistol, she's standing in the doorway, and she goes, Miss St. Clair, there will be no firearms in my hotel. You will put that back.
Well, no, that's why I'm getting it. I'm taking it out. No, I shan't. Maybe you should call the sheriff.
Minnie, what have you done?
Got him.
What have I done? What has your reverend done?
Minnie, what did you do?
Broke a few eggs, and I'll sidle past her.
Push past her. Can you?
I don't want to hurt. Like, I'm just gonna I'm a little person.
Agree.
I don't want to hurt her. I'm just.
She's in your current state. There's always the chance,
and holding a pistol. She'll step aside.
Can you actually give me a fighting brawl roll? Just because she does kind of stand in your way, and this is just, can you do this without hurting her? The success here is kind of control.
Can I intimidate? But no, I probably can't.
I take intimidate as well.
No, I really can't. I'm very bad at that. I'm not intimidating.
And you not dodge past her?
Okay. This is more, she's kind of in the place, and it's the hubris here. So you get past, and you just shoulder her out of the way. She tumbles backwards and against the balustrade on the landing, and she watches you aghast as you head downstairs. And then the last thing you'll hear as you head to the doorway, she'll say, "Don't you come back here! You're not welcome in this hotel. Not you, and not your friends."
He's getting thumbs up and keep walking.
And head out the door.
I'm so done with these people.
Back out onto the street, everyone's watching you as you take a turn and walk towards the blacksmiths. They're talking, gossiping as you move, and you sort of, I presume, just like boldly just holster the pistol into the front of your pants where like it can be seen. There's no sheriff in town to stop you because you got shot in the head.
Because we killed him
in a cave in the desert. And you're able to just walk boldly back up towards the blacksmith.
I didn't lie to her. Yeah. I didn't do anything to him.
No. Then let them talk. As you head,
I gotta say, the townsfolk have probably seen like people come back from the desert a bit scrambled, surely. They've seen similar things like this before.
There's also, though, that the Reverend hasn't returned and the sheriff that went with him. This is beginning to, and also...
That'd be the difference this time, that makes sense.
And also, there haven't been too many...
And probably a different kind of scrambles.
Yeah. There haven't been too many voyages either. He's only taken a couple of people out there. So this is still an event of note, and people were kind of talking about it so often, probably that would have been there to welcome you as you came back in. So this is already a hot topic. Now, Jackson, as Dr. Sam you
That's me.
return from attempting to get the horses and then deciding to urgently repair the flying machine and get it topside as soon as possible. Upside, sky side, whatever. Can you go ahead and give me a mechanical repair roll?
I
See how
thought
the
you'd
old
never
speed
ask.
goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got another tick before
Nice.
the end of the chapter.
Oh, hell yeah, that's what we're after. Yeah, you're able
That's
to
all I need.
You're quite quickly able to get it refueled. You go over the propellers, make sure everything whirs and whizzes in its correct capacity. And as you're doing this at one point, the blacksmith will come out just to sort of say how you're going. So this is Bill Schoenbaum, the blacksmith, and he's not fully approaching, but he walks out with a mug of something and observes you from a little bit of a ways away.
Oh, hey, Bill. How you doing? All's well in your neck of the woods?
Things are fine, serviceable. How's your friend?
Oh, yep, no, all good for now. Just came back to have a quick refuel, and then we're heading back out shortly.
So the others, they're still out there?
Minnie came back to town with me, and yeah, the others back out in the cave. Hey, listen, did you happen to see the? I think they're called the Peace Brothers, right out of town, a little earlier today? Wondering about what time they might have gone.
Peace Brothers. They'd be the other ones staying at the hotel.
Yeah. Not the goon looking chaps, but the other ones.
Yeah, they came past here early this morning. Had a piece they needed, cleaned up a little bit. Rifle, big one too. Helped them out with a little bit of repair work, and then that would have been, I don't know, not long after your friend departed. So imagine if they set off immediately, it'd be just before midday.
I can't remember the maths. Where does that give me an ETA? For when they're going to get to the cave?
ETA wise, so midday you guys arrived at the cave, and it was about an 8-hour trek. If they had headed out at like 10 or something, they'd be getting there at about 6, which is
Now.
about an hour from now. Yeah.
Oh no! And how long was the flight?
3 hours.
Heck,
And this was
So
the
we can
easier
get the
route coming straight back.
we're going to get there 2 hours late.
Is this the time that we look at the overland speed of an unladen swallow, or in this case, a falcon?
Yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah.
fastest possibly would be the bird. Even then, it's still cutting it pretty fine. That said, you guys are following a trail. They didn't have, like, you guys had Hubert actually quite successfully rolling to track. This is quite difficult to find the cave. That's 8 hours of straight trekking following the Reverend's path. If they didn't have that, which in theory they shouldn't, they will take much longer to find it.
Plus, birds practically have homing beacons in their heads, right?
The New Zealand falcon is capable of flying at speeds up to 200 kilometers per hour. But that's probably like when they're hunting. That's probably not
it's
like
burst
overland. Yeah.
You guys for 3 hours,
Oh,
I reckon we'll like about halve that for the Falcon, because it's moving. It can move faster than the plane on its own. It also, it can dart along the canyons or whatever. So
That is overland speed. During hunting, they can get to 320 kilometers an hour. So 200 is fine. Excellent. But he's not going to help in a combat situation. That's the thing.
No, but if you can get the message there, I think.
If my animal companion pulp talent nonsense goes so
just
far.
Write a note. Just write a note. You can just write a note.
I can write a note.
Just write a note and tie it to the bird.
I'll write a note. That's what I'll do.
Yeah. That's
all right. Write a note.
Absolutely got one of those cute little tubes on his leg that you can put note. Of course he does.
Yes, we discussed that before. Okay, write notes. Bill, can I borrow a piece of paper?
Sure. He'll tear off
Thank
a
you.
sheet and pass you a pencil. And as you're writing it, he'll stand over you as you jot some paste down. He'll say, "So what happened? I understand your friend went out into the desert with the Reverend and the sheriff. That was her that I saw getting back with you, right?"
Yeah, that's right. Things got a little bit complicated, a little bit out of hand.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, I don't think we made things worse. I think we've solved some of the town's problems, so that's the thing to focus on. But I would want to know how your wife's holding up. Have you noticed any changes in the last few hours?
Last few
As I'm writing
hours.
the note.
I was only
Yeah.
there a moment ago. Seemed the same as last time you saw her.
Okay.
She's moving into
That's
another
good.
cycle.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, look, I'm going to get back as soon as I can, take another look at her, and do everything I can. Don't worry about that.
Listen, Sam, and just as you finish writing and go to twist it, he kind of grabs your hand, not aggressively, but for sure holding it. And he says, "We don't want things made worse. You understand that? We just want,
Definitely.
follow the ways we've always worshipped. We want to go back to how things were. We don't want to do anything rash. You understand that, right?"
Understood. I think we're on the same page there.
Okay. All right. He lets you go and takes a step back. And his eyes are kind of looking around a little bit. And as you finish this, curl the paper, what do you want the note to say? Just broad strokes on his-
Peace brothers took horses and guns. Left at midday, coming to you. Could be ETA as early as 6 p.m. Be ready for a fight. Maybe.
Okay.
But I don't know. Discern their intentions first. See if you can communicate and negotiate with them. Reach some mutual understanding.
You get the same
as best you
page
can.
out.
How small is your handwriting, and do you have doctor's handwriting?
Turns it over.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Doctor's handwriting.
I know Sam, so hopefully that's okay. But also,
Need to make a
this is
language
giving me
English roll.
flashbacks to, for anyone who knows the reference, Jester and the message spell. You got 25 words, and you're using them on nothing.
We should genuinely get you to make a medicine check to see if you have doctor's handwriting.
If you fail it, you're literate.
Yeah, no, I got medicine 72.
Legible. He's definitely literate.
This amuses me terribly. Let's do it.
Yeah, go for it. I think that's what
I was desperately trying to think of how I could possibly use
It's chicken scratches. Extreme success.
It's a bunch of
It's an
shorthand.
alien script.
My God, he's mastered the written form of Narca.
But, these are my friends.
Yeah, so
and they've got experience.
You have to very slowly make it as legible as possible, and it still looks pretty scrolly. Yeah, look, anyone who doesn't recognize your handwriting might pass it over, but shouldn't be too bad, especially for Carter.
Actually, does this mean that if, the Peace Brothers, in the horrible event that they see Lancet and they shoot him down, they're not going to be able to read it? It's essentially a cipher at this point.
That's true.
It's a light cipher. Yeah, it'll definitely take a little while to get through, for sure. Give it a take. All right, so you scroll this message and you push it in and tie it to Lancet and then send him off now to chase after the others. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And also, just say that they're, it could be there as early as 6. We're on the way back with supplies.
Okay. Lancet's pretty exhausted as well. He spent most of the time on the way there, stopping
right.
in and checking on Hubert. So he's just over like a little water dish or something, having a little resty. And then when you finish tying it,
he could have come in the plane on the way back.
Yeah.
He's been resting for. You said it was a 3-hour flight.
Yeah.
It's an 8-hour on the ground, 3 hours for us going straight there.
yeah, he's not at his extreme, but this is definitely pushing it for him for the day.
No, yeah, definitely understood.
And as he sort of shakes himself loose and you tie it onto him, he will leap off your arm and take flight, heading in the direction of the cave, trusting to his animal senses. As he coasts away, and you turn.
When you get back, buddy, when you get back, buddy, tonight you're gonna have so many pigeons, parakeets, seabirds, and pheasants.
Is that what they eat?
Goats, hares, and rabbits.
You get funny.
I was going to go
beetles,
with
and
mice,
dragonflies.
but okay.
Oh no. Stoats,
Sounds
hares,
like
and
you're writing a
rabbits.
children's book.
This is a huge. So as he takes off and your attention returns, you will see Minnie coming up the main thoroughfare, looking fairly pleased with herself, and also with a bundle of supplies. It is also immediately apparent that she has been noticed by several people, and there are folks, not fully following or anything, but whispering a little bit, and then returning to their homes, just talking as you return.
That is pretty low on the list of concerns, what the townsfolk think about us. So I'm not too worried at this stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long is hen rounds distance at this point.
It would be fading as you come back up the hill to rejoin the others. It's basically the hotel, and the other one will have absolutely passed it. So you begin to feel your senses return as you approach the blacksmith and Dr. Sam up on the sort of
between the heat of the day and the walk and the kind of sharp, clear, bright clarity of almost anger that was driving Minnie to snap at people just kind of fades out into the exhaustion that has been bubbling beneath the surface for a while now.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
All right. So Bill, just quickly, look, the situation's not resolved, so maybe the less we tell you now, the easier time you're going to have for the moment. But we're going to get you caught up. Right now, we've got to get back out there just in case these Peace Brothers are less than friendly toward our friends who are still out there. But we'll keep you in the loop when we get back.
All right, well, be careful and stay safe. Miss St. Clair, you didn't see my daughter while you were in town, did you? Young Susie?
Which...
you did not.
She the other one who works at night.
The one who was going to burn down the church?
Mr. Smith said something... I think it was Hubert that said it, but someone did warn him. He said, Mr. Smith said something a little concerning the other day.
Oh.
And,
I did not see her, no. But I didn't do a full walk around the town. I just went to the department store and then to the hotel and then back here. So I didn't go to the church, I'm sorry.
These things are getting out of hand. No reverend, no sheriff. This place is verge of collapse. All right.
Oh, who was the deputy in town?
Deputy? I don't think we've had a deputy.
Do you have one? Who was there?
No.
Was there a somebody who could step in if the sheriff was away? Away, yes, away.
Immediately? No, I'm sure we'd find someone eventually, but
you might want to find somebody.
Why?
Oh,
just for now. He's not back yet.
No. Listen. Maybe look, Bill,
if you're worried about finding your daughter.
Sam, you said we were on the same page. Nothing rash
here.
Yeah. Look, my daughter's missing. Your man said her head's filled with all sorts of nonsense that Gregory's been whispering. Said the sheriff's missing, Reverend ain't back yet, and Miss, I understood you were out there on one of his passages. And here you are, and here they aren't. What's happening?
All right,
I'm just from a different place, you know. I'm a different stock, you know. They're out there, which is why we're going with supplies. Shall we?
We're heading back out. The sheriff wasn't in a good way when we left. All right, so you find your daughter. Keep her close. That's probably the best thing.
Yeah.
Look after you and yours. All right, and we're gonna do our best for the rest of the town.
Fine. Just fine. And he heads off, clearly concerned, and now swinging his head around, he heads down into the town to look for his daughter.
I feel like I had that situation pretty well handled until Minnie arrived on the scene. But that's what the madness does for you. It's a good time.
That's what we do.
He heads out, and you both return to the machine you only just gotten out of and, begun to stretch your legs and prepare to take flight once more. Loaded up with equipment, and what is the plan? Is it to race back towards the cave as the crow flies?
Yeah, okay. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Because the alternative would be strafe and look for, follow path and see if you catch people earlier along. It's up to you.
No.
There's the shortcut is.
The worst case scenario is they also take the shortest route. Best case scenario is they get a bit lost and we get there first.
Yeah. I think we just want to get straight back to our people.
Okay. All right. So you get into the flying machine. The engine roars and begin to buzz out over the town, heading pretty much due straight north as the crow flies to find the cave as quickly as possible. You'll have another long journey, and it looks like the day isn't over just yet. As you fly, we'll return back to Aries, Mr. Smith, and the Reverend, who have spent the afternoon digging graves. Now,
that is Lieutenant Carter to you.
Lieutenant Carter. So the two bodies that were here were fairly well mangled. One of them got shot in the head and wedged into a crevasse. The other one got its back broken and chucked off a cliff. Now, The Reverend is relatively capable, although it's definitely the wind has come out of his sails, not just emotionally, also like physically. He seems much more drained. Possibly the energy that he was burning, getting here and not sweating or anything, it's begun to affect him. And as he stands under the sweltering heat, you can see him practically wilting. Now, you did deposit some supplies. You had some extra water and food and things, but it's beginning to catch up with him. And while he will help in any way he can, he's probably not going to be leading these efforts. What do the two of you want to do?
I think I set to task pretty immediately, sort of scrambling down rocks, going to get the bodies. I plan to just get it done, get this underway.
Quick sticks and be done with it. Okay.
My head picture is that, based on your description of the Reverend, he's sitting on a rock, looking a bit down about himself, and we're just kind of letting him do his thing. Hubert is doing the big ass digging and getting the bodies on, and Ares is posted up on a slightly higher vantage point with the rifle, keeping an eye on the surrounding, because we're in the middle of a desert, and regardless of whether or not
tactically minded soldier,
it's a thing of going, I don't need to know that there are people after us in order to be very concerned about the fact that we are not in a safe place and it is unknown, and
sure.
It's just also, I think the idea was that they would get horses and come back to us, so I am also keeping an eye out for
Oh no!
That'll be that's
for horses.
That's ages away. The plan was you guys were going to start walking, and they'll meet you at some point with horses to resupply you.
That's fair. I think it's still something that
if you wait for them to arrive with horses, they will be coming some point tomorrow. Would be the plan. You'd rest
no. I know that we were planning on heading out regardless. It's more because I've got a rifle that has a pretty good scope. It's just it's looking for movement and people and stuff. Regardless. So yeah, scoping out. Literally scoping out.
The Reverend is resting, but he's also trying to help you, Hubert. He's pausing for moments, but he's coming over. So first, Hubert, you scramble down, and first you unwedge the sheriff and lay him out flat on the cold stone inside the cave. It's actually beginning to heat up in here. There was certainly something lightly supernatural keeping the cave as cool and ominous as it was. So he's laid out there, and as the Reverend sets to digging out a shallow grave just a little bit further down, you now have the privilege of climbing down the rock face and finding the body you broke and heaved. How's that go for you?
I imagine it's probably a little bit tough. I definitely rolled the guy down a pretty treacherous collection of rocks. So I guess it's just a case of going through one by one, probably looking for dark stains on the rock to try and lead my path. Yeah. It's a little bit tense. Okay.
Can you go, so as you eventually find the body down a cliff and kind of twisted up and broken, you'll see he was a 40-year-old guy in pretty good condition, except for the now completely broken back and twisted abdomen, shattered limbs that went down. And you certainly do remember him shooting you in the face, or in the back, and then the mad anger that he wrestled you with. But it's still a person, and I think this is the first direct casualty of Mr. Smith's that wasn't a lizard.
It's close. There might have been one in the very first session, when we did battle with the soldiers. Yeah. But I think that's sort of the heat of battle. Maybe Hubert doesn't even know. He can't even remember looking back.
Ares did shoot a lot of those people quite quickly, so...
Yeah. Hubert gave him a good bonk and chased off after him on a mule, which was sweet. I mean, how do you think how are you handling it? We can do a sanity roll if you think this might be something that affects him, but also this is character side. I kind of leave it to you a bit.
100% I want to do a sanity roll, and I have several angles depending on how the roll goes.
We'll do that works. That's what it's there for.
Let's get that out of the way first.
Can you go ahead and give me a sanity roll then, please, Jim?
All right. Now, while I'm making a roll, I'm also just going to quickly hit my fancy macro to do my luck improvement.
Pow.
Done.
What an excellent macro that is.
Fantastic. So that is a failure on the sanity roll.
Oh, that is not showing up for me.
That is luck. Why did I... Okay, sorry about that. Wrong button.
No, both have come through.
I got your sanity failure, 95 over 49.
On my pop out one. I'll just reload it in a
Sanity failure, 95 over 49. Luck
Okay.
Not
failure.
fumble, but close.
second. Yeah, very
All right,
close.
yeah, so that's pretty bad. Yeah, I don't think I'm taking it super well. Can you? I kind of want to figure out how much sanity I'm going to lose to tailor the event. Is that
My
all right?
suggestion would be a D4.
All right, let's go with that. I'm going to roll a D4. Three. Okay, so here's my thoughts. I get down there and I see the body, and Hubert stands there a little bit, just taking everything in, and he's feeling a complicated series of emotions, but the biggest factor is probably that none of them are sort of strong enough. Yes, could be the first person he's killed. He's not really sure. Yes, he does feel bad about it, but he was also shot in the back by this guy.
Yeah.
Then he also doesn't necessarily feel that maybe excuses him for having killed this dude. It's all the Reverend's fault, but is it because we're helping the Reverend? Does it even matter? And it's all sort of just bubbling away. And he thinks that he's going to go and now have to dig a bunch of graves. And that's sort of annoying because we're in a desert and he's been shot. So he really shouldn't have to do that at this point. And I think as he's standing there, he's all a little sad because he likes these adventures and he likes things to go well, and he finds himself just not being the type of person that he wants to be, not the type of person who's going to be able to put this all behind him. But you know who is that type of person? It's Huberto. And I think in a very legitimate way, he escapes into fantasy and he pretends he's somebody else and starts like humming to himself very softly under his breath and pretending he's a heroic character who doesn't mind about this, setting up maybe a little split personality stuff down the line, but he will pick up the body and go off.
That's awesome. So, sort of as you're hauling it out, you go through a, range of emotions, trying to process them. And then by the time you pop back out the other side and see the Reverend that is now little more than a burden, especially out here in the desert, he's trying to kind of dig one of the graves, but he's making very little progress. And you're not sure if you're supposed to feel gratitude for him for trying, or is that like the bare minimum he could do? You kind of just jam it down. Put in a big smile, and there you are, the most wounded of the lot, getting a shovel and setting to. Can you go ahead and give me a strength roll, Jim? I just want to kind of factor in how quickly this is going to take.
Absolutely.
And I understand you're a
hard success.
Yeah.
We're speeding along, just when we don't want to be.
You get the bodies fairly quickly, set to digging the holes, and then laying them down to rest. After only an hour or so has passed, the bodies are laid down, packed over with loose enough soil. It's sure as hell not 6 feet, but they could possibly be come back to later. And the Reverend has just finished tying a pair of sort of impromptu crosses and plunged them down into the soil behind them. He will stand over them, his head hung for a moment, standing in this with a blistering heat. You can see the back of his neck has reddened quite severely, and there's sweat pooling on his brow and dropping down. Clearly whatever supernatural energy propelled him through the desert the first time is no longer with him. And then eventually he nods, says, "Amen," and looks up. Do you want to say something, Jim?
I will go next to him and I will take off my hat and hold it against my chest for a little bit, just in respect. And then once he finishes and says "Amen," I will hand him my hat.
He looks at it and looks up at you, and you can see he's a little bit surprised as he reaches out to take it. And he says, "You won't get burned?"
I'll be fine.
Well, thank you, friend. Truth told, I can't say I deserve it.
Well, we'll get you back into town. Don't you worry about that. Come on, we better get moving though.
Trials to come, and there'll be... Maybe we can put some of this to right. He will take the hat. He puts it down on his head and sort of holds it into place. It's a little large for him, but it will protect him from some of the sun. And Lieutenant Carter, from your vantage point, can you give me a spot hidden roll?
Certainly. Hard success.
Okay. Scanning the horizon.
Do I need anything better than a hard success?
No, hard success will cover it. Scanning the horizon and looking down across everyone through the glint of the scope, you will see nothing within range of note. Nothing comes through the sky, and in the hour that you are there, you are fairly confident that there is little in the area, but some minor local wildlife. And even that's not around this particular cave, which was a bit evil. You can shoulder the rifle and join the others.
What time of day is it?
Be about 2. So
Okay.
pretty hot.
I'll shoulder the rifle and head back to the other two. And I'll say it's going to be a long walk back. It's quite warm. I know that the temperature is going to drop rather significantly once the sun goes down, but Reverend, how long do we have until sunset? And how long a twilight do we get in these parts of the world?
If we set off now, and we can get all the way back in one march, we should arrive back in town a little after nightfall, not long after.
How perishingly cold is this desert after the sun drops? How long have we got before we start to get into dangerous territory?
It'll get cold, but we should be all right.
I'm wondering
I did 4 or 5 days in the desert before I thought I saw God.
Before you found yourself. I'm wondering whether or not it is worth us holding for a little longer. The sun is very harsh. This time of day is not the best time to go traipsing around. I wouldn't want to have I wouldn't want to be organizing troop movements at this point in time. It is a time that is absolutely going to be exhausting for everyone. You know this area better than I do, so if you think that it is best for us to move now, then I'm happy to take your lead on that. However, as someone who's done a lot of maneuvering of troops and people and things, this doesn't seem like the best time to be stomping through the desert.
It isn't gonna get any easier. Eventually night will come.
It might get cooler.
Not for long enough, and then it'll be night. We can, if we want to stay, we'd be best camping here in the cave overnight.
Listen, I think you're the boss, but I reckon we should just push straight back to town as quickly as we can. If we can get it all done in a single evening. I mean, remember, for all we know, there could be people who need help there.
That is very true. All right. Well, let's take this first part a little bit slower. I don't want anyone to exhaust themselves too early. When it starts to get cooler, we can push a little harder to make up the time we've lost. But I want everyone to go within the bounds of what they are capable of doing. I don't want anyone pushing themselves and exhausting themselves. I don't have the capacity to carry either of you. Certainly not Mr. Smith. And Mr. Smith, while I think you have the capacity to carry either myself or the Reverend if necessary, you do have a bullet wound in your spine, and I would rather that be tended to first.
Yeah, it's sort of it's pulling. I'll be okay though. Let's get going. But you're right. We'll take it easy.
I won't have you carrying me anyway. If so many people I took on this journey, people I thought I was helping, but nevertheless they punish themselves as I punished myself when I first made this passage. If I can't make it back under my own steam, then God knows maybe that's where I rest.
Reverend, I don't mean to be crueler or harsher to you than we've already been, but what you want in this situation is irrelevant. The town actually needs you back, surprisingly. I don't think that if we return empty-handed, things are going to go particularly well. And I think you have a lot of explaining to do to the people in that town, and they're going to need to hear it. So if you fall down, we will be carrying you back. Because as much as you would like to avoid the penance you're going to have to pay when you return to that town, you're not going to. You're going to have to face what you did. And the desert is not where you're going to do that. Did I make myself clear?
I know you're still kind of torn, Reverend, wondering just how terrible everything is. If you want proof one way or another, if you step forward and you force through everything and try to help people when the trials are at their hardest, then you can rest easy in the confidence that whatever you did because you truly thought, at least on some level, you were trying to help. If you give up now, you don't even have that to fall back on. So get to work.
I will also say, much to my own chagrin, when times are difficult, wandering off on your own to try and find a solution is not the best path. You have good people in that town to lean on if you need them, and they need to lean on you as well. If you want to save your town, trust in the people in it, build a community, support each other. Don't try and be a hero. Never ends well.
He says nothing, but he will turn towards the path, and with Hubert's hat set flat, atop his head and across his ears, he will begin to march. And in his own head, for the moment, he probably sees himself making the journey again, though, the one when he first left the town, basically saying, we will go out into the desert, and when we come out the other side, there will be answers, except this time he's returning home instead of seeking God out in the wastes. And he marches as a man who seems to suggest that if he falls, and that is answer enough. Although perhaps if he is carried, then that is another response. He is not untiring, though, and by the time you get down to the point where the rock turns back to sand and clay, he's stumbled several times, and this is not the smooth march of the Reverend that left this morning. You set off. Is the intent to intentionally slow the pace to preserve, reserves?
Given that the Reverend said that us being out a little after sundown is not going to be a significantly dangerous thing, obviously we don't want to do it all night, that's stupid, but it is, if we don't have to exhaust ourselves in the heat, then yes, we will slow the pace intentionally to begin with, and then as it cools down, depending on reserves, we may pick it back up again. That is Ares' intention as someone who has done moving troops around. This is how you get large groups of people to move effectively over long distances. I don't know if that's true or not. So anyone who's military history tactician, don't at me.
So you're setting off at about 2 p.m. or so, a little after. It will take you, best case, or at the pace that that the arrival was, 8 hours to return. It will have only just set a little bit before then. If you intend to march through the night, you'll effectively be halving your pace, and you will be spending the full day out in the sun, regardless, because there's going to be no cover out there, but you'll be stopping and resting where you find any opportunities.
Sorry, is that a choice we were making?
I'm just flagging I'm understanding the intent and just making sure we're on the same page.
The intent is not...
To march some point during the night, you would be about halving your pace. And you might be able to get some extra benefit by stopping and camping where you can find some shelter, but there is very little out here, and you're basically going to be in the sun regardless.
I would read that we are, with all factors coming in, we basically go at an average speed because we're taking it slow. We're not rushing. We're not forcing ourselves and depleting ourselves, but we're also not dallying. So just kind of roll it out neutral as we're going
middle
on.
of the road.
Yeah, we're not trying to, and the idea is over the course of the 8 hours, we are slower to begin with, then we pick up the pace later, so it will just average out overall.
Yeah.
The other thing that I do want to be doing, because again, I know it's going to be a while, but I am keeping an eye out for our companions, for any communication that might be forthcoming, because I do know Sam has a bird. We have used that for communications in the past, so I am going to every so often be continuing to do that sort of scan occasionally, like just by sight, but occasionally I'll stop and use the rifle to see if I can pinpoint anything else. And that will obviously like slow the pace down a bit anyway. So I think that's...
And when you find a place, and I'm assuming, you find a cool rock, you rest for a little bit, take a drink of water. This is also being done with provisions at least, or some, rather than the first one, which was, absurd. All right, so you begin to set out. You march unstoppable for the first hour or so, and then you begin to feel it set in. The Reverend has done this journey once today already, and although he's drinking water a bit, you can see he is struggling quite severely, and anytime you stop to rest, he sort of sits down, and it looks as though he won't rise again until Carter says, all right, time to keep moving, let's get to the next point. No sense stopping here for too long, and then he will haul himself back up shakily to his feet, and only when he gets the momentum again. And Hubert, you got the sense of, like, kind of both did, as being a man who might possibly be seeking the quicker judgment and possibly even the easier one. That is carrying through. He really does look like, if I die, then that's the answer. Then there'll be retribution after maybe, but at least the die... He doesn't like the die hanging. He wants the result, And this is kind of prolonging it and living in this limbo that he does not seem to enjoy.
100%. It might not have come through before because I am not as suave as Hubert is. I was trying to sort of bolster him.
No, I got it. I 100% got it.
Great.
And you've kind of, you're keeping him up and moving, but it's tough. And out here, he's kind of in his own head for most of the trek. Unless, I guess, are you talking to him more? Are you looking for more answers? Are you trying to steer him in any particular direction?
Can I make a persuasion check? Would that be all right? Just a persuade check to try and say that I'm just trying to be generally bolsterful, like I'm inspire him a little bit. I think the mechanical aspect of it, or sorry, not mechanical, the approach I'm taking is I'm probably like leaning on politeness, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like and habit and saying things that that require a response, if you know what I mean. Trying to sort of like lean on formality so that he has like a rigid social structure that he has to adhere to the whole way back, so he can't spend too much time thinking about stuff.
Yeah, I dig it. You're kind of trying to keep him in the here rather than the wherever else. Okay, go ahead and give me a persuasion roll. I am going to say this is going to start it hard. Success will be, making you keep him out of his head a little bit maybe, but to make much headway.
I totally understand. That's an extreme.
Man, the rolls have carried straight from last session into this one.
This is ridiculous.
It does just mean that as soon as one of us gets shot in the head, we will die.
Yeah,
it will just be a crit. We'll just be dead. It's fine. We know what this is leading up to.
Yeah, they burn all the luck, both mechanically and whatever else luck would be. So Hubert, you talk to him on the way back, and at first it's just keeping him out of his head, and then it's distracting yourself from your aching feet as well as him. And eventually it's just, kind of something to do. Everything's said with a mouth dry with sand and a thick swollen tongue, and the words have to be sort of, mumbled and repeated or whispered, as you get closer, and it's an awkward and stilted conversation. But you talk a little bit about, I guess, your own personal life as well as his, as it's just kind of the nature of where things go. He talks about the town and the dire position it was in, leading into the spiritual journey that he sought, and he really paints it as a place that had no options. He was basically watching it drain clear with no support coming, and he looked forward 5 years, 10 years, and he just saw this place a dried husk, and the few that remained were poor, hungry, and without assistance. He tried to pray. He tried to go through more, other means of reaching out to the government and got no support. And then eventually decided that he would follow the steps of his own god and seek penance, seek answers out in the desert. He marched with the intent of going for some 10 days or more, and after 5, delirious with no food or hunger, he truly thought he saw a vision of some serpent that writhed across to him on the ground, and when it bit him, there was sweet, cool relief, and in that ecstasy, he saw God. When he woke again, he was in the cave, born anew, strong, and able to help. He knew in his heart that if he reached out now, he could touch people, and they would feel God and his protection wash over them. He strode back across the desert, this time unstoppable in his march, and when he returned, he set to doing what he thought he should, which was helping the people that were hurt, the people that couldn't sustain what meager livelihoods they had, and also beginning to spread the word further in the hope that assistance and attention would be brought to the town. And eventually, some way or another, it did bring you. He tells this with... He's not entirely humble. There is an arrogance a little bit in not only his actions and how he sought to single-handedly be the savior. There is also something to be said to what Lieutenant Carter suggested, which, maybe just turning and marching out wasn't the answer, although he did believe it to be his only solution. And you don't think you've completely shaken him of that. He still does believe that, you guys don't necessarily understand the nature of our town and what we're up against, although sometimes an outsider's perspective can help. And also throughout all this, Hubert, you do get through to him, and you do begin to sort of suggest that maybe there's more, maybe getting back is the answer. There is still that undercurrent of there is something really black and cold in his heart now, where he died and was reborn through Yig. Something was powering that, and it's gone now. So there's just a little void down there, and he's not drawing energy from it. It's more like it's drawing energy from him. As with each step, he withers a little bit more and turns more into a husk, and it doesn't seem to be more supernatural so much as just this man's mind and his will to live are slowly being drained away.
Okay, that's comforting.
That's a
Not
Sam
only do we
problem.
have Heath brothers to worry about, we've possibly got a... Okay, great, okay.
At the end, the biggest takeaway is you believe that if this man could have a single moment of redemption, he's looking for that. He's looking for the one final hurrah that sets things a bit to rights, redeems him at least somewhat for his actions, and then he can rest. That's what he wants. And he's tired and he's pushing forward, but he's looking for that. And whenever there's water offered, he does no, I've had enough. You take it. And you go, no, you will not get back to town if you do that. You don't get to die here. And he goes, of course, I understand. And he takes, I was just trying to offer. I was just trying to set things to rights. And this cycle kind of continues.
There is absolutely, if that's the kind of attitude, it will absolutely be soldier, you will drink, and you will drink now because I'm in charge and I'm going to get you home safe.
Yeah. And he kind of does it, and he marches on. His feet are bloodied and his hands turning red and blistered. But you all march on. Carter, can I get you to make a spot hidden roll for me, please? And then I'm going to ask you to both make hard constitution rolls for the march. And I'll roll for my boy, too.
Ooh, that's failure.
Okay. Noted.
I was wondering. I was like, if I get a failure, am I going to be okay with that?
And I can use my pulp talent here?
Yes, you can.
Oh, fantastic. I will.
Well, this is the Constitution?
Constitution. Hard constitution rolls from each of you, please. Nice.
I'll discuss straight out.
It's tracked. Hubert does have a little bullet in him. Champion. Okay, reverence going for it.
Okay. For me, that will be...
You get 2 bonuses.
Oh.
Because you get to use your pulp talent, and then we got a bonus anyway.
Sorry, no. You just have one. Sorry, you guys don't have bonuses. Just Hubert. Hubert does for his
I see.
talent.
Well, luckily I rolled identical for both, so it's fine.
I actually thought the second, the 2 was his. Yeah, I see now.
No, that's mine.
Oh, this is infuriating. Okay, sorry. I got it. I'm gonna make it. But or do I push it with the bonus die? Damn it!
It's not
I got-
lethal, but it's basically damage that you'll take as you just push forward.
I don't have a whole lot of damage left. I've been shot. I got I rolled 41. My hard success value for Constitution is 35. Right?
Yeah.
I have so I need to spend 6 luck, and I have 35 luck, so I can easily do it. But I bring myself by one inside the range
Oh
of
no.
not
No
being able
save.
to just nuke save myself.
Stave off death.
I'll tell you what, Jim, it's a D6 of damage. It's not too bad, but it gets worse as you continue on. So
I
just so
am
you've got all
going
the
to
information.
push the roll, I
Oh,
think.
No.
Okay. All right.
Wait,
Mm.
what's
Why
that?
does-
That's the 2 rolls on a 35.
It-
No,
it
I'll just take
really-
the 6 damage.
Well, what were you saying, Jackson?
It really feels like at the earliest possible opportunity in a chapter, Hubert gets as close to death as possible,
And then
as
rides out the
fast as
rest of it.
possible, and then stays there for the rest of the chapter.
I think in the other
Am
ones
I-
he's gotten
am
super
I
close to
right?
death right at the end of them. He definitely gets close to death and then decides not to at the last moment.
Midpoint. It's not the end. There's been, it's not the end. Ever.
Real, real good to fling insults from 30,000 feet. I'm down on the ground, man.
Trenches, man. All right, so do you
Yeah.
want to just take a
No,
D6,
if we
Jim?
were in trenches, Ares would be
No,
having problems.
I've been called out. I'm
You're
pushing.
pushing
this.
it? Oh, hell
Oh,
yeah,
no,
dude. Rock
don't do
on, bro.
that.
Hang on, before you roll. What's the... So, penalty, I think, is going to be take max if this fails.
Sure.
So, take the full
Let's
6.
go.
Oh, God.
And this is you just, shouldering
Please
it,
don't.
pushing through, and rather than resting, just trying to make the push. All right. Go for it, Jim.
I'm going for it. I think
champion.
Oh, and
no.
no.
Okay.
I'll take the 6.
All right. Go ahead and take 6 damage as...
I'm not well.
No, you're not. And you're beginning to feel just sheer exhaustion. You're sweating buckets, and then eventually that dries up. And at first you're like, oh, good, I'm not sweating anymore. And then it's like, we're a little short on liquid here. And your conversation with the Reverend, you realize, has turned a little bit delirious. Because at one point he goes, Hubert, we spoke about this like 3 times in the last few moments. You're just repeating questions, not hearing responses, and just kind of cycling through. And you really do feel like if Lieutenant Carter were to just turn and walk off a cliff at this point, you just follow right after them. You're just following the march, and it's the only thing keeping you going.
They are the beacon I'm following, and that's it.
Would I notice this, or is
Yeah, for
that
sure.
not something?
For sure, you're looking
Okay.
after your boys.
I might, if Hubert is looking worse, and this is technically new damage, I believe. So I would be able to try a first aid.
Yes, you would absolutely.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to halt us at the next available opportunity where we've got even the mildest amount of, shelter. Whether that is under a scrub, a tree, or equivalent. And I will attempt to make a first aid. I will check with Jim because my first aid is under 50, which does mean I can fumble quite badly. It's not terrible, but there's a chance that I could make this a lot worse, and I want to check with you. If
Go
you're
for it. I deliriously kind of just as you
It's
start
also-
like going towards me, I'm burning on the back of the head because I gave my hat away.
It's also,
I'm-
and at this point, because he's the solution, the first aid is get him out of here and stop being in a desert is kind of the solution.
I mean, yes.
So, and I was thinking of just doing it as like a hard roll, but I think rather this is you kind of touching into the reserves. Like you'd saved a bit of extra water for like, if we get stuck out here for a long time, you guys are kind of tapping that. We're getting Hubert back up. We're completing this, and if we have to spend another day out in the desert, we're all going to die. You're kind of chewing through a few of the reserves.
How long has it been, by the way?
It's been 4 hours. You are about halfway there.
Okay.
And so far,
Where is the bird?
no sign of the bird, no sign of the others. Timeline-wise, they're probably still... They'd only just be getting back now to the town.
Because it took us 3 hours to
makes
get there and then an hour to do stuff. We're probably just finishing up now. The stuff.
Sorry, my timeline converging. I was like, Lance will rock up like an hour and a half into our walk. No, that's not true. He'll rock up like 6.5 hours into our walk.
Yep.
5.5. Or 6, whatever. Cool. Let me try first aid. Okay, that's not a fumble.
It's not.
That is a failure.
Okay. You could invest the luck. You could push this as well. Risk doing. Get up, sir. Snap out of it. Walk it off.
I think we shove forward. We're going to need that luck, but when you need to crit the hell out of a couple of rolls later on.
That's very true. I can spend luck. I do have it. It does mean that I can't bulk spend it if we needed for later. I am happy to just go. I can't do anything about this. You're bleeding out pretty much. Yeah. This is not. We need.
This is not a man who should be marching through the desert at the moment.
No. Cool.
He likes it. So it's his happy place. He loves a nature trail. Okay.
I'll still give us a rest of it. Use up a little bit of our reserves regardless because we're all feeling quite tired. And then after we've had a break, I will get everyone up again. We'll continue.
And continue forward. Marching on relentless. Now,
do I get a chance to do another spot hidden, or is that like that one that I did is for the whole thing?
No, you will as we go into the second wave, as we get closer to town. At this point, I am going to ask. So you guys continue on to march, and now our timelines are beginning to reconverge. Lieutenant Carter, can you please make a spot hidden roll? And likewise, Dr. Sam and Minnie, can one of you please make a spot hidden roll, and you can take a bonus dice. Now, I will note you guys are taking the crow's,
7.
the fast as path. So yours is going to be a hard to begin with. Extreme for more information.
That's fine. You say 70?
70.
Go for it.
Oh my, that's good.
Success, but I've got a bonus, right?
You do, I know. So hard to
8 points of luck?
Yep, I'll do the 8 points of luck.
Mine was an extreme.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Okay. All right.
8 points of luck.
So,
hard success.
Minnie and Dr. Sam, you are racing along and you're keeping an eye out on the different directions. And just as you're beginning to head off, you've been traveling for, about an hour or so. You will actually see Lancet has wheeled back, and you'd send him out a little bit further ahead, and he's coming towards you, which lets you know they're probably not in that direction. And then Minnie, scanning the horizon, will see down there in the distance, you've just made out what looks like the trio marching along, and actually they're stopped as approaching them on horseback is coming another figure. And that you turn the engine.
I'm gonna point them out to Sam. They're about to get intercepted, it looks like.
Yes,
We
indeed.
need to get on down there.
But we're here too. It's a good old get together in the desert.
Can we make it in time, do you think?
And you wheel around.
I reckon so.
And begin to approach. Carter, you guys have been marching for another hour or so now, and you're not too far out. When you come to a point that's beginning to prickle the hairs on the back of your head in the worst possible way, something about this is just a little bit wrong. You don't know if it's paranoia, but you've trusted paranoia before and it's paid off. Hubert's pretty out of it, and the Reverend is too, stomping ahead, and you pause for a moment. Currently, you're not too far out. You think you're a few hours, and the Reverend's kind of got a little bit of a second wind. He's talking to Hubert and saying, we're close now. We'll be able to rest soon. You can sleep. But you've paused. There is a hill a little bit of a ways along that rises up, probably one of the steeper ones, and you first eyeballed it because you thought you might be able to rest. And you can see there's a little tree up the top and a small outcropping. And then you thought you saw a glint of something for just a moment at the highest point that reminded you of the cross that Minnie was carrying to leave signals for you. And as you unholster your rifle, swing it up and point it towards it, you can't track the glint again, but you think you see a moment of shift of something up there for just a moment. Then just as you lower the rifle once more to take a look around, you see coming round the lower portion of this raised hill is a man on horseback who is beginning to slowly approach. And
just one man.
Just one man. And all of this is just setting off kind of alarm bells in your head. The person approaching stays a fair distance away, and Hubert, you're here too now, although you kind of need to shake yourself out of it a little bit, rears up the horse and holds up a hand. He's dressed in a duster, which is, might keep the dirt off, but it looks a little thick for just hot weather. This is actually functionally armored. This is thick enough leather for it, and it's just a little bit too hot for that. And you'll also see, as he raises his hands up, laid across his knees is a double-barreled shotgun. And it's got it in place. And this, the gentleman wearing a eye patch, is Arthur Peace. And he holds up a hand from a ways away, still keeping distance, and he's going to hail you.
I'll mutter to you, Carter. I'll go up and talk to him. You stay back and be ready to, I don't know, save me if he tries something, I guess.
Mr. Smith, there's a man on that hill, I suspect, with some kind of sniper. So make you sure that if you do go up and talk to the gentleman, you put his horse between you and that hill.
Okay, I'll do my best.
I will move. How far away is Arthur from us right now?
Currently, he would be about 20 yards or so. I'm going to also close the distance a little. I will say he on horseback is keeping that 20 yards. He will back away, and also he will attempt to talk to you before then. He is trying to keep 20 yards, and also I'm saying reaching for weapons may escalate things at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I already have a rifle out.
Yes, that is true. But I guess, that is true. Actually, you kind of leveled that to get a sense of things and that was a benefit of the extreme as well. You functionally have a weapon drawn and ready.
Yes.
And you kind of hold it across yourself.
If he's going to hail us from that distance, and I don't think, Hubert, you're still welcome to go towards him, but it sounds like that's not going to be a thing. And how far away from the hill are we?
Further. This would be from up to the top, 100 yards or so.
Okay. Fine.
Up to the highest point. You immediately kind of understand. If they have a rifle up there, they are definitely in the superior position. They will be nestled down in rocks. They will be very hard to hit, and you guys are completely out in the open.
If we did want to get ourselves into a position where Arthur is between us and the hill, how difficult is that going to be?
Fairly, given he's on horseback. And they appear to have planned this. He will keep that position. You might be able to trick him into getting in between, but it will be fairly difficult because they've got a few cards, and they know you're military, so they're probably taking this as seriously as possible.
They did scoff.
They did.
I tried to intimidate and it didn't work. So I'd like to think that currently they can be careful. I do still think they might be underestimating. For
sure. There's always a chance. So unless there's no emergency, as they come up, Arthur will hail you and rear the horse, and he keeps his distance, and he's gonna call out, You don't look too good. Long day in the desert, huh?
That's right. You don't have some water you could spare, do you?
Brother, we got plenty. We got food, supplies, everything you need to get back to town safely. So, what say you? We make this easy like. We're only here for the Reverend. That's all the contract specifies. You give that to him and we are done. We'll feed you, water you, and you can go right back to town.
Okay. Let me just, do you mind if I come a bit closer? I'll keep a respectful distance.
You stay where you are, big fella.
Okay.
Reckon you could damn near toss this horse.
I'm going to sort of turn slightly towards Mr. Smith and go, Mr. Smith, I hate to ask this of you, but would you mind putting yourself between the Reverend and Hill?
I will. Just let me, and I'll edge across, and I want to keep yelling towards him if that's all right.
Yeah, 100%. Holds up his hand.
If Ares is giving me any signs, I will occasionally flick across to have a look at them, try and pick up what they're putting down. But I'll have a bit of a conversation. I'll say, listen, I hear what you're saying. I know you're in a very good position, okay? And you've made a very reasonable offer. But let me just talk through the situation a little bit, right? We say no, you're going to take us out. Maybe you get unlucky, you take a few licks, doesn't matter. That's not what's important, because you were staying with us at the hotel. You know that we've got other people out there. And that just gets problematic. Now you're not just finishing off a couple of people in the desert, you're finishing off people in town. And you know it's not just the other two, right? You saw the two detectives that were with me. You know I've got another one as well. I've got a note from them I can show you. People know where we are, and this just gets complicated. Faster, quicker. If you've got a contract out, right? What's the amount for? If you want to make this easy, like, how about this? I double it. And we forget all this ever happened.
You got me pegged wrong, friend. Look, we're noble sorts, all right? Contracts are one thing, but understand, if you got a name in this kind of game, you got to keep it. Reputation is everything. Now, we've been paid to kill that there Reverend. I understand he's been making trouble for you and your sorts. You don't look so good, and hell, I don't see a woman that went out with him, so maybe she's dead already. Let's make this real simple. Like you said, we don't want to mess with you. I don't want to mess with your detectives. I don't want to mess with your friends. I don't want to do nothing like that. Give us the Reverend. You don't even need to see what's done with him. Maybe we spirit him away. He goes to a nice farm upstate. What do you say?
I say, I'd like to know who you're working for.
I'm not going to tell you that.
Why not?
Because you're at a disadvantage. All right? Understand the situation. My brother's got an eye on you. You got no way to get to him, and you're a big man, but I don't think you could outrun a horse, not easily. And by the time he closes the distance, he pats the shotgun. I reckon there'll be a few more holes in you.
Can a horse outrun a plane?
And at this point, Carter, you do just notice the flying machine. Sam's taken it like just up, like there's very few clouds in the sky, but he's skirting along a little bit, and you've maybe like killed engines or something, so it's gliding silent like a fucking killer thing.
Heck yeah.
And Sam, I'm gonna bring everyone to the scene now. Sam, Minnie's like talking to you as he goes, and Minnie, you haven't spotted the people on the hill. You just see the horseman on this side, but you're saying, you know, it looks like you can see it looks like a standoff.
There's something down there. Yeah. That's definitely a standoff.
Yep. We're going to get down low and we're going to see what we can do to help.
Glide me on past.
They're a little ways out. You need to stall. But
couple of questions. Range, if something's within range, does that mean point blank, or is that a different thing?
No, point blank is a fifth of your dex, and if they're within range.
A fifth of my dex.
Yeah.
In yards?
So 16 yards.
Yeah.
Is a fifth of my dex.
You are very dexterous. He is definitely trying to stay outside of easy shot range. You are just so high dexterity that you are actually quite close to it. You might be able to close the distance and squeeze it off, yeah.
Cool.
At this point, Hubert, I am going to need you to make it's persuasion was what I was feeling like. As
I was trying to put down persuade and just say...
With a bit of credit rating thrown in.
Yeah,
for sure. That's the justification to even do it.
All right, here we go.
You're a wealthy man. You've also made a few shows of wealth in town too, so they definitely would have reason to believe you could pay them.
I mean, if I can use credit rating, I will, but I'm happy to use persuade.
No, it's persuade. Credit rating just means you have the money. We're going to begin this at hard, for what it's worth.
Nah, that's a fail.
Would you like to push this?
No, I don't think so.
Take a big step forward. Reiterate the terms. Okay.
No, I'll take a different approach. I'll say, okay, listen. So let me just figure out the details of what you're offering then, right? We hand over the Reverend, and you just leave.
You leave the Reverend, you go on your way, we finish this, we don't ever see you again.
Okay, well,
Understand, friend, I ain't asking anymore. Leave the Reverend now or we're taking this. You got 3.
What?
You got 2.
Dave,
Yep.
how focused is he on Hubert?
Fairly. You are both in a fairly narrow line of sight, though. He can definitely see the 3 of you.
Is it possible for me to
sorry.
subtly close 4 yards? I don't know how far that
It's
is.
big enough that
Can
would
I-
be you would rush. That would be a rush.
Okay.
Can
In that
we
case,
see what's happening?
If he's going 3, 2,
you can
1,
see this, but you are still a little ways out. It's going to take
If
you
he
just a moment to
goes-
close.
3, 2, 1,
Yep.
and he's saying that. My dexterity is 80.
Yep.
You have a readied weapon as
do.
well.
I have a readied weapon, although I do. I need to close 4 yards for him to be within my "you're fucked"
Yeah,
point
okay.
blank with this weapon.
We can ditch silence and distract.
So
Just fire into the air.
I also have one last conversational try I might throw out to
he's going 3, 2, 1 at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I'm
If he's doing it with his hands up,
Yeah. If
I
we-
get
can we-
so I want to pivot to intimidate and say they'll find you, they'll kill you.
3. Yeah, I don't.
Can we see?
If we can see that things are
we
escalating,
see the-
I would
Things are
fire.
absolutely escalating.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
you guys
I
are
would
a
fire into
little.
the air and distract him because I know that Ares would take any opportunity to if it's
Yeah.
gotten to
I
this
like
point,
it, I
I trust
like it.
Ares to take an opportunity. I would.
And
think
he is,
that's
he is holding his hand up
In the
intentionally
general
to give us a thing. I'm gonna get Minnie you to make a intelligence roll just to get the timing down, I think, and just to
Nope. Oh, but that's luckable.
6.
Yeah, luckable.
Have
Okay.
you got any rifle, Minnie? Because you can borrow my rifle if you actually want to take a shot at them.
I'm not as good with a rifle
You're
as I
all,
am
you
with a
guys are also
handgun.
just getting into the 100-yard range and flying. You could
Yeah.
though. It'd be tough. All right. So
I mean,
Minnie does get off the shot, which is going to suddenly the horse, just as he gets to 1, the horse jerks up. Hubert, can you give me an intimidation roll?
Absolutely.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
And if this succeeds, I'm going to say he doesn't have his weapon readied. He's going to stall just a little bit, which should slow him down.
Bumble.
Okay.
No.
I'm going to turn, and we're gonna give you a
luck
penalty
comes back.
dice on your dex roll, Hubert, as you try to go for it, and just heat wave, exhaustion, you anger clouds you, and you go, don't you fucking shoot
Yeah.
me.
But we do scare the horse.
You do skid to the horse for just a moment, and Carter, it's functionally ready. You'll get a bonus dice on your dexterity roll. You're not going to step the distance in though freely. You are going to need to do that on your turn.
Yep.
So we are going to initiative as they are also going to try and shoot the hell out of you. So if everyone wants to go ahead and roll and send them to the chat, please and thank you.
Here we go, and I've got a penalty dice.
Eat it.
Nice.
Oh, and I got an extreme success.
Oh my god.
I also got an extreme success.
Hell yes.
Success.
Fail.
Okay. Oh, I got the wrong one. Whoops. Arthur was the one in the. It's Christopher that you're talking to. Close. All right. So. Let me order you guys first. So who got extremes was Hubert and Ares.
But I have a penalty dice, so it comes to a fail.
Oh, sorry. Yep. And back down you go.
Just me again.
Minnie and Sam are a success, and Sam, what did you get?
Standard.
A fail. Is that right?
Oh, yep, fail. Yep.
Regular. All right. I'm gonna
And
roll for
I would
Nora.
have tried to shoot the horse.
You're with
being
just
a
a
large
pencil.
target,
You're way
but-
too far.
Yeah,
away
I'm way
at the
too
moment.
far away. But if it scared him.
But approaching. All right. This is Arthur, and he has a bonus dice. If it wants to. Oh, sorry. Whispered to Keeper. Get that off. Okay, that. Success and bonus. Yeah, that doesn't look right. Okay, no. So it's just gonna be a regular success. That's the rifle. And then I need to roll for a couple others.
Couple others. All right.
I need to roll for the Reverend.
Oh, of course.
This guy one does not have a bonus because the thing started, so he's on a fail.
Yeah, Christopher's the one with the rifle on the hill, yes?
No, actually the other way around. I gave the wrong names. I've got them statted in for it, so I'm just gonna swap the names. It's gonna be easier. So Arthur is on the hill. Christopher's the one you're talking
Cool,
to.
Christopher's one talking to us.
I said the
Easy,
wrong- I
easy.
said the wrong name.
That's all good. I will change my notes.
Thank you.
I don't get confused.
Yar. And lastly, Old Reverend.
No. Oh no.
He might be
Also a
rooted.
failure. Okay.
Oofed.
All right. We are ready to go.
On.
Art, You are first.
Goody. What happens if I want to change the weapon I'm holding? Like, change to
You can
pistol.
swap it, that's fine. It's,
Okay, that's-
if you want to do that and running, you could just do it and fire. You won't get the point blank though.
I only need to close 4 yards to get within
I
point
know,
blank
but
range.
it's the juggling and it's a fray and everything. There's limit to how much you can do in
He
a
is
single.
distracted.
Yes.
He's distracted. That got him. He didn't roll as well for the initiative.
Okay. I mean, if my
You can make a sleight of hand roll. Try and do it if you want.
not to like a dexterity or something.
Nah.
Okay.
Sleight of hand time. Best skill.
I don't. I mean, I can. I don't have sleight of hand, and I don't know that I'm willing to risk
It would be
having a fumble.
risking like. dropping it.
fumble.
You're trying to do faster than normal. This would be.
That's fair. What if I drop the rifle?
Yeah.
If I just fully drop it to pull out my pistol and leg it towards this guy, rather than worrying about holding onto it.
Fumble and
I tell you
goes
what,
off
that
and
one I'll
shoots you
give
in
you
the
the
foot.
dex roll for it. Yeah, because that's
Okay.
you just you let the rifle fall, charge forward, open the coat flaps open, draw the pistol and bat. Yeah, that's cool as hell. Go for it.
Cool. Dexterity.
Yeah.
All right.
That's. Do you want 1 point for a hard, and does that get me anything?
Nah, just go. No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Cool.
That's better. You
All
got
right,
it.
I will. I don't know if this again because I've been looking through the scope. I want to say there is like a moment I'll drop the pistol and that yellow eye with the
Sick.
slit in it, like just for a hot second, is there, and then it's like slides back over as I dish the pistol down, or just a rifle down, and go, "Bad idea, friend." And just sprint towards him,
As he
pull out my
gets to, like,
pistol, and
one.
fire 3 shots at point blank range at this guy.
Hell the fuck yes. Go for it.
Okay. So this is going to be 3 point blank, so they all have a bonus.
That's right.
I would like to aim the first one at the horse,
Okay. Noted. Yep.
because I feel like if I make him fall off a horse, it's going to be a lot easier for me to
Yeah.
shoot him.
100%. That'd screw him. He wouldn't be able to bail either.
All right. First shot. That is a success.
Success. 8 damage to the horse.
8 damage to the horse.
Horses hate that.
Oh, we need the horse.
Been a rough chapter for horses. I'll tell you what.
We do
At a
need
minimum-
some horses to get home.
At a minimum, I definitely like to try and spook the horse if that doesn't actually kill
it got shot. It definitely spooks. Going into my handy dandy keeper book. Wow, horses have a lot of health. Shocker. It
Yeah.
definitely hurts it. So he's
Oh.
gonna make a ride roll to see if he can hold it.
Great.
It
That's-
rears up as you shoot it.
Amazing. Next 2 are going to be at him. Well, next 1 is going to be at him, and then I'll decide what to do after that. Next shot. Hard success.
Nice.
Same again. What do I wanted to bring that down to an extreme. I'm assuming also he's not dodging because he's trying to deal with a horse.
No, he is not.
You have
you
to
can
dive
have-
off the horse, I guess, to do a roll die for cover.
Or use the. I was gonna justify a
you
ride
may-
roll to try and.
You may have 22 points of luck for that to be an extreme.
Okay.
So that is going to be the full damage, which is 1d10. So 10 plus 8 is 18.
Fucking hell. Okay, nice. Close the distance, the sort of the coat flapping, and absolutely the eye is kind of adjusted. I actually a little bit forgot to apply it during the thing. You actually would not have been making constitution rolls for the return. You kind of haven't really felt the heat too much out here. It's not enough to phase you, and sort of unsweating, marching ever on, you have been able to make this journey relatively unscathed.
Does that mean that I would be quite comfortable in my like relatively also heavy leather jacket that I would have had?
Yeah, because you could have had him in the plane as
Amazing.
well, because you guys separated.
How's he looking?
He's looking dead. So as you walk forward, coat
Nice.
flapping and taking the 4 yards in stride, you let off 3 quick shots, 1 into the horse, which rears back,
Well, I still have one more shot.
and by the time it lands, that's only the second one. Oh yeah, hell yeah, you have 1 more then. Where do you want to go?
I know it's going to be with a penalty at minimum. I just want to aim at the hill.
You're
Ooh.
not. It's not going to connect.
No?
It's
Too
out of
far?
range. It's just far too far away.
I mean, I don't have to
You
take
can let off
3
a shot
shots.
to it. Just bap.
I don't. If I do rapid fire, I don't have to take all 3, do I?
No.
Okay, in that case, I will hold my bullets because I need to. So I'll shoot the horse once, shoot the guy off the horse. For narrative fun times, if I'm like, actually no, I wouldn't be close enough to hit the horse, so that's fine. And I will yell to Hubert, cover the Reverend.
Okay. Sick. So, charge forward, 3 shots, the horse rears, and then as it goes up to its top, Christopher, going for his gun, is shot in the chest and just falls backwards from it, leg getting caught in the stirrups, and then as the horse spooks and begins to charge away, he's getting dragged along the ground, creating, terror in his wake. At this point, Minnie, you are the next to go. You are still about 100 more yards out, but you are approaching. You could ready something, although
I know
pistol
that
load
there's
is
2
going to
of them.
struggle.
I haven't seen the second one, but I know that these are the brothers.
That is true. You would be suspicious
can I
at least.
look?
And logic. Yeah, make a spot hidden roll. Yes, very great.
I want to look for the other one.
I was actually going to say, do I have enough? Like, if I'm running,
Yeah.
can I start running towards the hill?
Not on the next turn. You could. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, can't see him.
Okay, yeah, you know there's another one around here. You're ready for it. Your head on a swivel. As soon as a shot goes out or something, you should be able
Yeah.
to spot him.
But I don't see him.
And speaking of which, suddenly there is a bang from that like nested point up there. And Hubert, is your intent to be the Reverend, as this was happening as well, would have at one point. The conversation happened. You guys kind of were like, shut up, pushed him out of the way and kind of protected him. He's going to say to you, just no one else needs to get hurt, not on account of me. If another man dies, I don't know what I will do. And he is not trying to take cover behind you in any ways. If anything, he would be offering himself up. What are you doing, Hubert, with him?
I think I'm definitely just going to try and get him to lie down, get him to take cover, get him to move to any position. I was going to do a thing where I was going to walk towards the body of the fallen man and make like I was about to shoot him to try and bait out a shot from the other guy. Mm-hmm. But I think that only really works if the Reverend is trying at least somewhat to hide.
Yeah.
So I will tackle the Reverend to the ground.
So the intent is that they will not be able to shoot the Reverend, but it's because you will be in the way.
Did they not? Do they?
Is that right, Hubert?
I mean, we are known in the sky now as well.
Yep. You are known in the sky.
But they have a contract.
They have a contract. They have priorities.
Okay.
My implication or my suggestion to Hubert and also Jim, because I think it's interesting or potentially fun, is put yourself between a rifle shot and the Reverend, because
yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping that this guy is a bad shot.
Jim?
Yeah, I basically sprint forward. I tackle the Reverend. I'm going to tackle the Reverend, and I'm going to put him onto the ground.
Sick.
So that we're both lying down, and if anything gets hit, it'll hit me in the back is my aim.
Okay, that is going to be on your turn. For the moment, I'm saying that the Reverend is not open, so they're going to shoot you. Would you like to try and throw yourself prone?
No, because it'll hit the Reverend.
I'll say you can do that and throw yourself over the Reverend or whatever. This is just currently you are the only viable target. They're trying to get to the Reverend. You are in between. You are not on the ground or making it harder to shoot or anything, but you can.
I will try. Yes.
So it is a
dodge roll, correct?
A successful dodge roll will impose a penalty dice.
Here we go. That hasn't come through.
That is a fumble.
It has come through.
That is a fumble.
To double fumbles?
Oh my god.
Great.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, then.
You throw yourself in front of the Reverend. They already had a bonus dice on theirs. I'm gonna say you've lost the turn, and you might, if you even on the ground might not even give you the advantage. Just out here in the open. All right, I am rolling, and I am applying a bonus dice. First roll is a failure.
Oh.
That's not working.
Every time.
It's a 95 or 65.
Exactly 65, which will be a success and will deal 14 points of damage to you, Hubert.
Fuck.
That is going to absolutely take me down. It would have taken me down regardless of situation. That shot compared with the other one is going to hit me to dying. So I will fall forward
And you don't have any luck to heal?
He does.
No, I do have luck to spare, so I can spend. I saved it for this explicit purpose. But I think that I go to, do I play out dying or what's the...
You
It's
just-
only
you
a
take-
scratch. You could do the one 20 points and immediately heal a d6, or you can avoid certain luck, it's a 30-point minimum, spend all of it, and the hero has avoided certain death, immediately regains 1d6 plus 1. So you would be like, and you can do that at any point, basically, to kind of be like, I'm back up, you fool, I've tricked you again.
What I would ideally like to do, Dave, and you let me know if this doesn't work, I would like to say that Hubert gets hit, he collapses to the ground, and he falls still, and I will proceed to functionally rolling to see if I die.
Okay.
And then I will just keep missing turns lying on the ground, and then if I hit the point where I will die, they don't get to me, I'll spend my luck and go and wake back up.
Okay,
Or do you want me to spend it right away? and
No,
just
no,
make
that's
that
fine.
call?
That's fine. At the same point, there's also another one where you can avoid unconsciousness, or when you fail a con roll to remain conscious. I don't know, I think you're dying though. I think that might.
No, I'm
you're just
straight to
dead.
die.
Just body.
I think
Yeah,
you're
you're
a
just
bad.
dying.
I think you're a bad guy. Okay, so the shot rings out. Hubert throws himself towards the Reverend, hits him, and then another. Where do you get hit?
I think that I turn and I go to jump, I bend down, and then I get hit in the back again in the same spot and just crumple.
And just collapse over, blood pooling out under the Reverend, who's trying to, it is now his turn, he's trying to pull himself out from under you, and he's waving, and he's yelling, stop, 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 I go willingly, take me, but the
Yeah.
person high up on the hill can probably barely even hear him as we go
Hubert
now.
is enormous. I don't
Yeah.
think
Oh, he can't
anyone
get-
is moving that dead weight.
He's trying to
Yeah.
hang, but he actually sort of can't move from down here.
I object to the term dead weight.
You're
Jim,
dead and you're heavy. What do you want from me?
I'm dying.
All right, dying weight.
There we go. Much
Jim, we're going to
better.
put you at the bottom of this turn order, given you're a little out of it. So,
Dead.
Sam, you are next.
Yeah, let's bring the plane down and render assistance.
Okay, you're going to attempt a quick landing.
Exactly right.
Give me a pilot roll, and this will get you down. You will be landed. That will be your action, but you'll be in place. Actually, before you roll, Jackson,
Yeah.
do you want to try and do something risky and possibly be able to get to Hubert this round? You are flying through the air.
Well,
It would be like. I'm flagging out, it's going to be difficult. You'd need like an extreme, and failure is like
We crashed the
the
plane.
plane is out of action for the foreseeable, because you're like 100 yards away. You need to land, get out, get there, everything.
I think Dr. Sam is of the mindset that when the life-threatening situations get more kind of life-threatening, that's not the time to take more risks.
It is.
You know
It's
what I mean?
attend to yourself first when in an emergency
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
Do not throw yourself in a
So
danger.
no, slow and steady. We'll get there when we get there.
Where
And
do
if
you
you
want
ask
to?
me,
Where do you want to land?
you ask me again, I'll turn this plane around. Where do I want to?
Next to Hubert.
Yeah,
a
as close
quick
as I can get
flanking action.
without doing something stupid.
Okay. Go for
Did
it.
you see that you haven't seen the other guy, have you? Either. So we don't know where he is, so we
No,
can't
as soon as the
flank.
gunshot goes out, you are
Yeah,
pretty
okay.
aware that he's somewhere up on that hill. You have not been able to spot him though. Wherever they are, they're fairly well hidden in.
Do I have because I got the extreme success on spotting the guy with the gunshot, would I know where he is
Oh
now?
yeah. You know he's in up there, like among rocks, and taken fairly good cover. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, shall I land?
Go for it. As you focus on landing, Minnie, can I get you to make another spot hidden roll? This is just to see if you notice something.
Yeah, I probably do.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, so Sam, you're
Notice
able to bring
everything.
it down, and this will be your turn. And just as you're lowering down, Minnie, you spot on the other side of the hill, there are several, there's 2 horses pinned down and some supplies, noting that one horse is being ridden and is already dead, and there is someone getting up onto one of the horses and giving it a here.
Okay.
And
but
that
it's
does
not my
not
turn,
appear
so
to be
I
the
can't
person that shot.
do anything about it, can I?
That's right.
Oh, different
So,
person.
Yeah.
that is
there's
Dr.
there's now
Sam.
3 of them.
We now go to Hubert. Let me see if there's any. I don't know if there's a difference to dying. Single attack, that's not the case. You are just
Well, I
dying, so
don't
you
have
need
a
to.
major
We are at
wound,
the con
but-
rolls.
We are at con rolls. And Dave, I believe I will make use of my pulp talent here. Bonus die on all con rolls.
Oh, yeah. Good call, I think.
Yeah.
Probably a good
Hubert
idea.
is unkillable, I say.
Yeah, right.
Don't say that.
This, but let's go.
Hang on, sorry. I take that back. I don't think you are dying. I think you're unconscious. You never took a single attack equal to more than half of. I think there is. Sorry, there are major wounds. It's just that you don't make the con roll when you get them. So
You get a major wound, but it doesn't impact you. It only impacts
it's
you
only
if
when
you
it's only
die.
dying. Yeah, that's right.
I am
I don't
pretty
think
sure
you've
I
ever
got
taken-
shot in the back for more than half my health.
Was
Yeah,
it?
you went. Yeah,
Okay.
that
all
was because you went from full health to like.
not many. Okay, then in that
I
case,
think you took, like,
believe it was
20 something.
19 damage, which left me with I had 12 hit points
okay,
remaining.
then yes. Sorry, yes. Then you are dying. So Hubert, could you please make a Constitution roll with a bonus dice? Failure here will not be good.
Here we go. Hard success.
Okay. Alright.
And hard success.
For the moment,
Nice.
you cling to life, blood just pulsing out of you and onto the sand to stain it red. And that is going to be your turn. Christopher is dead. This was his round too, so he's out of here. And we go back to the top with Lieutenant Carter. So the plane lands, you hear the shot ring out, the horse bolts, and you have your turn. What would you like to do?
Am I aware of the extra person yet or no?
Not yet.
Oh.
I
In that
can't yell out
case,
till my turn, but I'm next.
Actually, Minnie, you
in
can,
that-
as you guys are landing, you can yell. That's fine with me. That was your turn.
Okay,
You
well,
guys
as soon as I
land.
spotted him, I would have yelled, "There's a third, and he's going."
okay. I would very much like to sprint towards the hill as quickly as I can.
Yep.
And like, depending on how close I can get to this guy, will be whether or not I take any additional shots or whether I just run.
So it's 2 rounds to close the full distance. It is also up a hill, so I'm gonna need a climb roll as you, if you want to try and speed that up.
Sure. I'll give you that. Ooh, no, not a fumble.
So
it has to be 100.
Close.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Holy shit.
Not a fumble. Not a fumble, Dave. Leave us
So-
Not a
alone.
fumble.
Carter
That's pretty
charging
funny,
up the hill, gun in hand, pumping up. You are halfway up it
Yep.
as you charge, and then acting next on a hard success. There's the whip of things, and you hear a "Hyah!" as the horse comes racing around, and rather than fleeing, goes straight towards the rest of you. It is Hilliard Fowler. This is the drunk leader of the lumber mill, who his beard is sort of astray. It's got dirt and stuff caked. He looks wide-eyed, mad. He's got his hat, sort of old prospector style, is back on the back of his head. It's covered in sweat, and he's withdrawn a pistol. And as he bears down on the party, he's yelling, "Give me that son of a bitch, Reverend, and let's make this town good again!" As he fires towards him. At full speed, he's unlikely to hit anything. However, I need all 3 of you to actually not. Can I get all 3 of you to make luck rolls, please?
Sure.
No,
Do you
no,
want
sorry,
me to
not
make
you,
a
not
luck
you,
roll to see
Carter.
if I
You're on the
pick
way
up a
out.
stray bullet?
You
Okay.
actually are. Yeah, I am going to get you to make a luck roll, Jim.
Does he come within range of me?
Yeah, as you come round. Oh, you're halfway up the hill at this point, so yes, he does go flying past you.
Okay, but that I wouldn't be able to take any
No,
actions.
you were heading up.
Will he remain? Is he going to be out of my range by next time?
He looks like he's charging straight towards the rest, which is where you were, so you can
I
turn
will-
back around.
No, I think I'll let Minnie and Sam deal with that one. I'm sure they're
Yeah, we're coming
well.
around anyway. We're coming around the mountain.
Minnie and Sam.
God.
gonna
A
get you
solid
make
chance I'm
luck
going to get
rolls.
shot with a rifle. So
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Oh my god. Thought we drained all this luck. What's all this shit?
Nah, we good. We good.
It keeps
we good.
coming back. It
does.
regrows.
It comes back.
It's a renewable
We good.
resource.
Have you done
we
yours,
good.
Jackson?
Am I? Oh, we're all doing that.
Yes, please.
Yeah, because he's just firing a gun.
wildly.
I thought I was immune to guns for some reason.
Whatever,
That'd
we
be
good.
nice.
He's a
Yeah,
real
we're
bad shot.
Yep.
Oh, it did come through.
Three
Sorry, I didn't
successes.
even notice. It's just a line
Yeah,
of
yeah.
successes. What the hell? All right, yeah. A couple
All
of
good.
random shots go off, but nothing connects. And he's continuing to charge down, and he is bearing straight towards Hubert and the Reverend, looking around wildly.
I'll
This
make
man
a
looks-
note that my rifle is on the ground.
Yeah.
Next to Hubert.
It be.
You're welcome.
All right, Minnie, it is your turn. You guys are just in the plane. You can throw yourself out
How
of it.
close are we? Are we throw ourselves out of it distance?
You've landed. You've landed. Sam's
Okay.
just.
I won't
turning
throw
himself-
myself out.
No,
I'm still piloting, but you're welcome to.
Yes, I'm throwing myself out of the plane.
Okay.
If we've just kind of skidded into a stop, I'm going straight out of the plane.
This man is
To
charging
stand
further
over
forward.
Hubert and the Reverend and fire, I guess, if I can.
Okay, hell yeah. Now this is a moving target, and it is currently like 50 yards in closing. It'll be within range of your pistol, but you will have a penalty dice on this as he bears down towards you. Do you want to make a single shot, or do you want to let loose a flurry?
I think a single shot is going to give me a better chance of actually hitting him.
Okay, fair call. All right, so it's a single attack with a penalty dice. Sorry.
Okay.
That's all right. And that's also a
that's
success.
that's also fine.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
Damage 1d8.
Far out.
Popped him right in the chest.
As you hit him, he rolls backwards, almost loses the reins, and
Dies.
To take my handgun.
Don't think so.
He's not dead, but he's not far off.
Love a handgun tick.
So satisfying.
I've got Whisper Keeper on, sorry, because you didn't know he was there earlier. Okay, and then suddenly, like, you see him grab on the reins, twist him, and haul himself back up as he continues to bear down. He's very much been shot. The coat they were wearing reduced it by 1, but he is in a bad condition. I am going to give him a Constitution roll, sorry, which would have been the first one, to see if he just kicks it then and there. Oh, champion. Get after it. All right, yeah, he's a man with on a mission.
Gotta do snaps for enemies too. Like,
Yeah.
well done, buddy. Well
Everyone
done.
gets a
You're
job.
fucked, but well
No, I
done.
don't.
We're gonna kick your ass. Okay, that was Minnie's turn. It's now the rifle. From Carter, as you're like scrambling
hill.
up, trying to move over hills and things, you
Does
see
he even
from
have a vantage point on me?
he absolutely does.
Cool.
As he swings around towards you and something go fires out. Would you like to throw yourself prone to impose a penalty dice? You will lose your next action, so it's a pretty steep cost.
My next action.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he does have a bonus dice on you.
He does have bonus dice?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think in this case I'll throw myself prone because it also makes it more difficult for him to hit me, like, if I'm out of the way.
For sure. You'll basically be out of... You can throw yourself behind to something, and then... Because angle-wise, if this goes through, he will still make this shot with the penalty dice, but then once you land, you are out of the way, so the next round he can't target you.
Great, yeah, that works.
But that just clarifying, you will not get your next turn. It does nix it. That's how it works. You basically forgo your next action.
There's a guy with a 303 Enfield. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm fully aware of what a 303 does. My friend explained it to me as like a 22 when you're going rabbit shooting. They work on a farm, to be clear. 22, small hole in bunny. Bunny dies. 303, bunny mesh.
Goodbye, bunny.
And I was like, cool. That's all I need to know.
Great.
No, thank you.
So first, can you go
dodge
ahead and make your dodge roll? That's
I will
success.
take that as a hard success. He would need extreme to beat me. Oh no, he gets a penalty.
This just applies a penalty dice to his roll. So he
Cool,
now is
so
running a
it does-
straight roll. Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't change. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
It
so
doesn't change if I
so-
get an extreme or anything like that.
So you throw yourself across, skidding on the ground, and he's gonna take a shot at you. And that is going to be a success. That is 8 damage. You can reduce it by 1 for your armor. As you can hear another just gunshot ring out from somewhere up on the hill. You've got a pretty good eye line on him now. That is his turn.
But he can't target me next turn.
No,
Is
you
that
are
correct?
you are out of the way.
Delightful.
But no one else is too close. Now the Reverend is still trying to struggle vainly under Hubert as we go to Sam.
Did I get the plane down?
You did. You have touchdown.
Great. What are my odds of rendering medical assistance
You can
to a Mr. Hubert? I'm going to have a look at the battlefield and assess any hazards and potential, dangers.
Well, there's a guy on the horse bearing down on you.
bearing down on which
Hubert,
direction?
In kind of just, he's going into the fray. You guys,
Oh,
the
okay.
3 of you are kind of bunched up. Well, 4 of you with the Reverend.
All right. Well, yeah. In that case, if running to Hubert's side doesn't put me any more danger than I'm already in. That's what I'll do.
Okay. Then go ahead and give me a first aid roll, please.
Fantastic. Oh, did Carter already give first aid since his last taken damage?
No, not for the most recent damage.
I was shot quite recently.
Yeah.
That's okay. That was before you got shot again.
You get one roll for each bullet. And just FYI, if you can't bring me up with this one, just pop a few into me and try again.
No. I'd probably just like kick you a bit. I wouldn't shoot you again.
Yeah, a little shot.
First aid. Where? Oh, it's like the alphabet. There it is. Hard success.
Okay, all right. Hubert, you are stabilized, I believe.
Wait, hold on. You can spend 1 point to make that an extreme. I don't know if that
Does that
changes
get me
anything.
anything? No, we said an extreme gives us 4, right?
This is what you are currently doing. Oh no, sorry. Gains 1d4, removes the dying. The patient's been brought back and is no longer required to blah blah blah. I guess you'd be up. Yeah. Okay. If you want the extreme, you're giving the 4/4.
You were very generous with the house rule. I think last session where an extreme gave us a 4 instead of 1d4.
We'll stick to it. I'm trying to assassinate you guys with a cool sniper guy. I think that's totally fair. I think we've done that before.
Great. 1 point of luck to get your 4 points. There you are.
You're a hell of a doctor.
Do you want to roll the 4 for me?
No, it's a full 4. It's just flat 4.
Sure.
It's just flat 4. You just get the.
Oh, roll 4. Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
I'm gonna roll 4/roll 4. There you go. I rolled 4.
My bad. Sorry, that was a very dumb thing. Even in my head, I was like, oh, great, I've got 4. And I was doing maths around if I did the restore with luck. And I'm like, okay, well, still ask for a roll.
Actually, sorry, I'm reading it. Extreme success automatically grants the maximum 4 hit points. It's
so it's not even a house rule.
No.
No.
All right, there you go.
But I'll take
Even
the
better.
generosity points. That was if they're still on the table and there's up for grabs.
No, yeah, no. My opinion of you has nosedived once again.
Nuts! I'm back in the bottom. Can't win.
Back to rock bottom.
Well, speaking of which, Hubert, I think it's your turn.
gonna be rock bottom.
My eyes blink open, and and I can see Sam around me, and I can see the blood everywhere, and I can just feel this horrible pain in my back, which has been burnt, which has been snaked, which has been shot at several times. And I think what I will do is I realize now that the Reverend is just yelling in my ear.
Yeah.
And I'm going to grab my hat, which has fallen off his head. It's like nearby, and grab it and just pull it over his face and go, shut up, shut up. Shut up. I fighting brawl. I shut the Reverend up.
Go for it. Make a fighting brawl roll.
Don't hurt
This will be a
them.
maneuver too, so he's I'm not even going to try to fight. It's just...
That's a success.
You pin him down to the
all
ground,
you
you shut him
need.
up. You could start bodying him towards the plane if you wanted.
Oh, that's great. That's much. I hold him there for a few seconds and like, come on, and start putting him towards the plane.
Okay.
That's much more helpful.
All right. Yeah, no, that's a great idea.
Please
Okay.
do use it as like cover because we're in the desert. It's like all flat.
It's pretty much
it's
the only
thing you can hide
cover is the
behind.
plane currently.
By the way, I'm
That's what it's
assuming that Dr. Sam, you like duck off immediately after because we're in battle. Because otherwise,
sure,
I
it's
stop
just
and give you a
like,
heartfelt
what?
moment of thanks. We
Bandage.
share a glance.
Go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Hubert, brought back from the brink of death once more, is able to pull himself to his feet and grab the Reverend and just body him towards the plane. That'll be your turn. At the top, Carter, you've thrown yourself into like the only even illusion of shelter on this thing. You land, you sort of look over, you can see the gunshot where blood's beginning to seep, but you're okay. You still got it. That is going to be
That's like the old days.
back in the trenches. That's going to be your turn. We go down to Fowler, who, having got the horse under control, sees the Reverend now and goes, "You let him go." Whips the horse again, charges forward, and he is going to try and send the horse straight into the Reverend, firing all the way. Hubert, once again, you could interpose. You are the one that currently has the Reverend.
I interpose. I grab him and spin around. I will try and get
Holy
in front.
shit, dude.
Are you
You're a wall.
Are you Are you close enough to the plane to like throw yourself behind that as cover, or are they still on their way there?
Still moving. He only just got himself back up this one, unfortunately.
Since I'm moving the Reverend around, would you allow me to use a fighting brawl in lieu of dodge to be shoving us both?
I was also going to say, he's closing the distance on horse. You could try and fighting brawl and like grab the reins and just jerk this thing down to the ground. Like do some super strength shit.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, yeah, let's go for that if I can, as he closes the distance on horse.
He's just firing wildly. He's not a good shot. He's just letting loose, basically.
Oh, that's
it's more
fantastic.
the threat of the horse hitting than anything else.
Hip and shoulder into the horse. Let's see what happens.
Rugby tackle horse.
Yeah.
Bad day for horses.
I would like to, actually, you know what? I will try and pull down the horse. I genuinely think, as it's coming, I grab the reins and I combat maneuver the horse and try and pin it.
Sick. Now, Jim,
Yes.
horses are very big, and I did not set this up intentionally. Horses do have a build of 4. What is your build?
My build's 2, and my pulp talent gets me to 3.
So you can do this with a penalty dice to just try and just
You could body a horse.
suplex the horse.
Here we go. I'm going for it. Let's do this.
All right, go for it.
That's a hard success.
Oh, you champion.
No.
That is a...
It is a penalty. It's a penalty, not a bonus.
I know,
but that is
Still,
a hard
holy
success.
shit.
What do you want to do? So, Jim, you're also very good, right? You got options here, baby. You take it. Do you just take the horse out? Do you throw him off it and try and pull yourself into the saddle and charge the?
I'm like a kid. I'm like a kid at a candy store. Oh God, if I may, I think so. I go to grab the Reverend, and then I stop. I turn back. I see the horse stand up tall in front of it for a second, and then spin sideways, grab the reins, and pull.
Yes.
As it goes past, and the horse like goes to continue, but then gets dragged around and sort of skids in a semicircle.
Oh, he drifted
lands
the
on the
horse.
side. I assume he's in the stirrups, which means his leg will fall under it. Boom. I will pin them both, but the horse falls, there's like a yell, and Hubert, like a snake, slithers up, gets on top of the guy to hold him down, and slams his hat down on his face and starts yelling, "Shut up, shut up, shut up!" Again.
Holy shit. All right. Horse brought down. Hilliard tumbles down to the ground. I am going to have him. He's going to try and stab your ass as you go in, because as he dove. But yeah, well done. That ruled. Okay. It's a brawl roll if you want to contest, Jim.
Yeah, I will.
We'll probably have a penalty for
riposte,
consecutives because the horse charging or whatever. But
yeah, I will riposte it if I can, and I will riposte it with a brawl.
Kind of
I grab his hand and slam it so the knife goes tumbling away.
disarm his ass. Yeah, hell yeah.
Extreme success from me.
Dude.
Do you need a? Was
He's
Oh
done.
my.
He's done. Yes. The gun was in one hand. You just send it. He was just trying to clobber you with it or whatever. You disarm him of it, jam down on the ground, and as the horse is underneath both you and him, you are single holding down about, I don't know how many tons of horse meat. I don't know how that works. Champion.
Excellent.
All right, well done. Successful round for Hubert. Just think you were on death's door so recently.
you could just rip him off the horse and let the horse go if that's
Next round, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
All right, Minnie, it's your turn. And then it's the
Oh
rifle.
boy, that was fun. So I was standing in front of Hubert and the Reverend, and then Hubert just launches himself back to his feet, rolls past me, and bodies a horse.
A little bit insane.
Okay, so I'm assuming Hubert is good now.
He seems great.
I'm gonna start moving quick and try and flank with Ares.
Okay, so you're
Get
gonna
around the hill.
So are you going to try and you can try and rush the hill, which is 2 rounds to get to the top, or you could try and go the whole way round to get to the back. That will take a little while. Although
I
you
don't
could try and get the
necessarily wanna go
horse
the
up
whole way
and then do
round.
that.
I kind of just want a diagonal. Like I want to go up the hill, but I want to go in a different spot to Ares.
Pincer.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, noted. You will still be within 5. He will still have a bead
Yep.
on you then. You are still
But he's got a
charging the
pick.
hill. Yeah, well, Ares is out of sight at the
Not
moment, so
currently.
he's going to shoot you. The Reverend is actually unheld at the moment.
Oh, okay. So is the Reverend going to make a move?
He's probably going to try and stop this.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, then I'm probably going to. He's in a bad shape, isn't he? He's in a bad way.
The Reverend?
Yeah.
He's
or
not
is he
great.
pretty good?
He's actually not that wounded, but he's definitely
He also is
having a
right
day.
next to Sam.
And
And Sam
Hubert.
can also
Well, Sam's
intercede.
there as well.
It is. I was saying, technically,
I'm
it
just
is.
hanging
It
out.
is.
No, I think
It
I'm
is
gonna
the.
go-
It is
I
the
think-
Reverend's turn.
No, I'm gonna
it goes
try and
Mini,
sneak around.
Reverend, and then the rifle.
No, I'm gonna try and sneak around quickly and
How does
quietly. Pincer movement.
Sure.
Just to
Show us power.
give Ares a distraction, another gun in the field, and
Okay.
because I do have a pulp talent that specifically helps me if I'm trying to keep out of sight.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's kind of
so
been a
I
bit of
wanna-
madness, and this dude's looking at
Yeah.
everything through the lens of the rifle. He's kind of honed in. I think make a stealth
If I can just
roll.
kind of duck out it well, because as Hubert's doing something real unexpected with horses, I feel like I have an opportunity to kind of dart sideways.
I
and
really
get
like
out
that.
of the scope and
It is going to be hard. Oh, there's a lot going on, and you are trying to kind of just slip yourself out of sight. Actually, no, just make a straight stealth roll. I think. I think it's. This isn't you invisible. This is just you not currently
No.
being noticed. Is you are still charging the thing, so he'll notice
me
eventually.
being
Mini is
small,
very
and
small.
quick and invisible,
Yeah.
and yeah, hard success. Yeah, we good. We
Yeah,
good. We good.
okay.
We good. Mini's
Well,
out. Mini out.
Thank goodness.
You take a shot at the dude on the
Mini out.
horse. He charges past you, and then as you whirl
I'm like-
around, there's a dust cloud that goes up, and Minnie's
Yeah,
gone. And then
and
when you see her again, she's
Hubert's-
charging the hill.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna duck out of the rifle side of that guy and just pop around to the side of the hill.
All right, that rules.
Some
So
movement, this guy.
the Reverend's going to, on his turn, try and take a step forward. Finally, unhelpful. Hubert did mostly body him into the plane, so he's still kind of like, he has to haul himself out. He's not going to openly stand in gunfire, but he's just going to yell to all of you, no one else should die. Just let me pay this penance. Let me take this burden, please. Then there's a click of a reload, and Dr. Sam, you're going to be shot.
Oh,
Would you like
no!
to? Because you are in the
For
field.
what purpose?
Because
What
bullets in
what is this
people
further?
is the objective.
Quick question.
Who's objective?
You just had a click of a reload.
It's
Reload takes a full action. If he's out of
I think
bullets,
it was
he
a
does have
narrative
to.
reload.
it's got
click,
10 in
but-
it's got 10 in the mag.
Okay,
He's
good.
fired
10
twice.
in
He's
the-
just
okay, good, good, good.
chambering around or whatever. Yeah.
Easy. Just checking, because not all
Good flag, good
rifles
flag. I did check
have,
the.
like, you do have to reload
Yes, there are some.
pretty.
Dr. Sam, would you like to try and throw yourself prone?
I would like to not get shot.
Okay.
Can that
No.
be arranged?
Yeah, you can make a dodge roll. That will imply a penalty
I'll make a
dice.
dodge roll.
And this can be used scrambling back for the plane. And with a success, you are out of cover as well. So you are going to lose your next action, but this is you at
Getting
the plane.
out of the way. I would be happy to do that with my dodge of 35.
You go
So
right
I'd like
ahead.
to make that happen. This feels like I got 10 points left
Yeah?
to spare.
Okay.
But is that like competing against hard success? Like I can still get hit in the hard?
No.
Is that
It's
how this
it's not.
goes?
It applies a penalty dice to his roll rather than
That's
being a
right.
contest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Yep. So 10 points brings me to 34 luck. It's a success in my dodge, so he can have a penalty.
Okay. Noted. I will give him the penalty dice. I'm also
Here we
going to
go.
say that the kill box is officially compromised, and I'm not going to give him bonus dice on his attacks because now there's people flanking up. He's got attention split
Yeah.
between, so it's just going to be a penalty. So he's now at flat rolls until you get
Nice.
within point blank range, which the two as you make that final leg will be. So little bit of a gun with a penalty dice. Click.
Oh,
But with penalty.
Penalty.
fumble. He can fumble.
Oh, that is a
80.
fail. Okay, all right.
Oh.
And then Sam throws himself up. You see the skid of impact where the bullet lands. Then you're on the ground,
Oh
pulling
my
yourself
God.
past the horse. And this horse is out. This is a very like World War bullshit.
Nice.
Okay, Sam, you can throw yourself to the ground and you are on the other side. It would now go to your turn, which is spent getting in cover and out of the way. Huberto,
Just
it is you.
tuck myself in for the night.
Nice and cozy. Dr. Sam, you did succeed. Do you want to be in the plane or do you want to be behind it? Less cover, but you can be kind of scrambling in, just waving your feet as you pull yourself in the
No.
pilot seat.
I'm not going to like take off any second. That's fine. I'll get some more cover.
Okay, all right. It's defensive. Hubert, it's you.
Okay. I am going to. I mean, the Reverend is still a liability at this point. I'm going to get the Reverend. I'm going to drag. Oh no, I can't. I have to deal with this guy on the ground.
Get with the dude. Pull him off the horse and smack him in the face.
Okay. I'm going to be mean.
Roundhouse this guy.
I will make a.
Actually-
I would like to make a fighting brawl maneuver.
Sit on him and just.
And what I would like to do is I would like to get this guy off the horse, exactly, so the horse can get back up and leave. But I would also like to, as I go, just twist the stirrups of the horse around him a little bit, so the horse is going to take off and drag him across the desert.
Okay, yeah, hell yeah. Can I actually get you to... It feels like animal handling is the main role here.
Okay, yeah, that would be... You know what?
Yeah.
I think I might just bonk this guy.
Okay.
Just, you're on top of him. Just
Yep.
headbutt.
I start hitting him.
Just saying, because I actually did like that quite a lot.
That is a success. I will not luck it.
How much damage do you do on just a whack?
1d3 plus my bill DB, so 1d6. So
Gotta go ahead
1d3
and-
plus 1d6.
Do you want to go ahead and roll those?
Sure.
'Cause I think that should be enough to bring him to 0, and we'll count as non-lethal effectively.
Is he going to riposte me or dodge?
No, he's pretty... You were grappling him and whatever. I think it's just you slamming him down. He's got
Bad roll, 4
He's
damage.
got 1 health left.
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna make a con roll though, because that was over his. He's got a major. Actually, this dude is not going down. He's bad and spitting as well as you try and hold him and wrestle him. You still got control of him, and he can't do a whole lot, but he is still in play.
Yep.
Carter, it's going to be your turn.
I can get up the top of the hill and get into this guy's...
You will be in range with him. Yes, you could. That'll be your turn. Is getting there. Then you are amongst it now.
So I can't get there and shoot.
Unless you want to try a climb roll and risk making things worse.
I just noticed that Carter rhymes with martyr. and I was compelled to share that.
Oh.
Go on.
Also, Ares is the god of war.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Hey.
Should be a good time.
You know what?
It's kind of like basically you run up, then go around some rocks, and then you just want to just be like, fuck it. You just go over all the rocks and drop on his ass.
Yeah, genuinely, fuck it. Let's try that climb again.
Sick. All right, go ahead and give me a
Yes.
climb roll.
Oof, 14?
14.
You've got lock up the
You've got-
wazoo, don't
I
you?
do, but not as much anymore.
Okay,
Sorry, so 14.
Very next chapter, you're going to start saving it again. I can
That's
feel
true.
it.
Okay. Right, I will give you luck to get that climb so I can get into
Okay.
range and then shoot this bastard.
All right. So you go charging up, coat flapping. You get to the rock, scramble over, and drop on the other side. You will see that it is Arthur that's actually in here. Chris was the one that got shot. He is jammed in. There's like rocks all around, and there's a crack along them where it's also been chipped out a little bit further. You can see a like tarpaulin has been laid out on the back to give some shade and also to break up line of sight. And there's like canteens and provisions set to the side. This looks like a reasonably well set up hide. And then you drop through the tarp like the fucking Phantom of Death or whatever, and suddenly he's in melee, and he's not huge on that. Do you want to go ahead and make an attack? He's going to try and riposte.
I was gonna shoot him, not be in melee with him.
The positioning of it means it's a little tough to get the drop on him from that way.
What I'm asking is, can I still shoot
You can
him
still
even though
shoot.
it's melee?
Yes, you can.
Right.
You're just a little bit further away, and he's going to lunge towards you and try and knife you. He also no
That's-
longer has the rifle.
Oh, great. Then fantastic. I will shoot him 3 times.
Oh, okay.
Because I can do that.
Feels like it's going to hurt.
Find out. So, and he is within point blank range?
He is. He super
Oh, no.
is. For sure.
Okay,
For sure.
well, let's,
He's going to have a great time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so good. So good for him. So good for us. So good for everybody.
For
Just
sure.
roll the
Party.
first one, because I'll riposte on that one.
success?
Okay. Do you want to luck or anything?
Nope.
Okay. Come on, buddy. You got a little more in you. Stab.
Does he though?
Yay! Take 4 as you fire up the shot, and he gets under it and jams a knife into the inside. You do roll just a 3.
Oh, yes, I do.
And then you get carried backwards, slammed into the rock, and continue. Make your other attacks.
Great. I go, lucky shot. I'm going to jam the pistol into his, like, as he's got me, just into his chest, and I will fire twice more. I assume he can't riposte
Fuck yes.
again.
Well, mechanically, this gets a little dodgy. I'm going to dodge for these ones rather than riposting because he's not going to get any more damage because you are in there. He can kind of wrestle you around and stuff.
Okay.
Actually, I'll use Fighting Brawl because it is more wrestling, which means you will win the ties, but he's doing no damage. It's just going to be Brawl for seeing if he can...
Like, trying to see if he can get the...
He's just trying to, like, jam it up, yeah. You go ahead and roll
That
first.
would be a crit.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yes.
It's about dang time.
I don't know what a crit does outside of the standard impaling, but
Kills the fuck
apparently...
out of him.
Okay, that's
a big number.
It's not 19, it's because I've done the math wrong on that. It's 18 on that. But that's 18
Still
damage.
That's...
I don't know if crit changes, but it's 18 damage.
I mean, so the extreme damage has rolled 10 plus 1 plus 1d10 plus 1.
Which is...
Oh, so it shouldn't do the extra
It
one.
just shouldn't have the extra
Yeah.
plus 1, but that is
Which that's on
very
me.
close.
I got that incorrect.
That's
So
okay.
it should be just 10 plus 1d. It's 1d10 plus 11 is my extreme.
You rolled a 7 on your
That's
single d10.
Yeah.
pretty
So that's
sweet.
10 plus 7 plus 1.
Lieutenant Carter, I'd pass it to you.
Oh, good. Yeah, he'll get a knife in. I feel for the appropriateness, Ares will smile. There is blood between their teeth. Because they probably bit their tongue when they got shot the first time. He's gonna smile. Is fully, like, I think is going to, like, hiss. I told you not to underestimate me. And the eye will switch back into that serpentine eye. I look him dead in the face as I ram the pistol into, like, up under his, in his diaphragm, like up under his chest, and fire 2 shots directly into his heart.
Fuck yeah. Blood splatters the inside of the top, and the second piece brother collapses to the ground.
I would like
Dead as
to
hell.
yank the knife out of my side.
As Minnie comes around the corner at this point, too.
Well, but it means it gives us a really good vantage point on anything else that's happening.
Yeah.
So.
I will, like, pull the knife out of my side, jam it into whatever, like, woodenish surface is nearby. If he's got, like, a kit of something, just jam it, or even into the ground. And then I will flip up the 303 and point it towards Hubert and what's his face. Yeah, and I will, for the purposes of Minnie not seeing, the eye that is straight is in the sights, so it's still there.
Oh,
but
well, you're under the top still, so. If you're
Yes, but if you're coming up and seeing me, that's hidden through, like, because that's...
through the sight, yeah.
We're rolling with this is the vibe I now
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And with the second piece brother slain, Fowler is pretty easily held by Hubert. Sorry, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah.
Can I throw out a thing? I think that as the fight continues, I think that Hubert at this point, I do knock him out, but it does get a bit like, because we're in the darker mood of things. I get up and I, like, beat him up a little.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah, it's exactly what you're saying. It's beginning to slip. It's just where did the lines start getting so blurry, and how did I get so far along it suddenly? Yeah, I love that. You just slam into the plane at one point or whatever, and just in an effort to just end this violence, resort a little to your own. And quiet eventually returns to this little section of the desert. You're only a couple hours out of Bingham, but another 2 bodies to add to the day's tally. The Reverend, unharmed, and Hilliard, while wounded, can be tended to by Dr. Sam if you choose. And you'll be able to, soon enough, finish your journey, at least. There's a couple horses here as well and some further provisions.
I don't know.
Hubert, you're going in the plane this time. You don't look great.
I get to go in the plane? Okay.
I don't think the plane... I think we've established Hubert cannot
too
go
heavy
in the
for
plane.
the plane.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean, look, I think after all that nonsense,
There's horses.
I think let's save what we got in the tank and take a rest, eh?
We
I
need
can
to get back to
imagine we're
town.
all
We need to get back to
exhausted.
town.
You
No,
are,
we
yeah,
are,
for
but we
sure
do need to get back to
exhausted.
town.
Out here in the
we can't
they
stay
had
out here.
some supplies up there, but looks like they were. There might be enough that you could camp out here. You could camp here for the night. They had some provisions.
We'll
for
take
it.
some supplies out of the plane. And yeah. It is-
You could
and
hide
I
the
would
plane and all go
eat.
back together on horseback or whatever.
Maybe.
I would take the Reverend
Sam.
back to town in the plane.
Yeah, maybe Sam
and then
takes
the
the
three
Reverend.
of us can get back.
We also got
Because
Fowler.
we've got 2 horses.
Yeah.
Assuming that they haven't,
And-
assuming they stopped at
Well,
some
they'll-
point.
Cuban's
Peggy,
pretty good
Peggy's
at
back.
animal riding-y nonsense, and Dr.
Yeah.
Sam's got a
They were pegged
connection
down
with the beasts.
and yeah,
There's a-
they were pegged down and so they should still be around.
And there were 3 of them, so I assume they have 3 horses.
Yes,
Well, one of them
one
you
horse got
injured
shot
greatly.
and bolted. Another one got rassled, but you can get that one. Another one is still
Yeah.
pinned. Is
The
still
one
pinned.
the one that bolted did have a dude dragging behind it. Does that horse slow down and stop at some point?
It's also
yeah,
been
but that
shot.
horse
It might
is
not be
shot to
physically
hell.
injured.
That
Yeah,
horse
we're not
is-
riding
is
that
good.
horse anywhere.
That horse is going to go and have a nice life off screen, where I'm sure
Yeah.
it's fine.
That horse is
I
free
mean,
now. It's,
actually,
it's done.
Minnie and I could probably share a horse.
Well, that's what I was going to
probably,
say.
but
Is that I'm not a great. I don't have
I'm not.
rides, so I would probably just post up behind Aries.
I mean, I don't have ride either, but I can I can point a horse in
I
a
have
direction.
very good ride. It's paradoxically pretty much my best skill. I can coach the 2 of you, and
Yeah.
then the Reverend can ride with Sam.
Well, I mean, look,
And
let's.
then are you planning to take Fowler? That's the other the owner of the.
Oh, is he alive?
I presume he was
He's,
alive
yeah,
right here, but you just
knocked out.
clobbered him a bit. He's not
Oh.
he's not in a good way, but he is alive.
Well, maybe
just-
Minnie can ride with Hubert, and I'll put Fowler over the back of my horse. And tie him
Yeah.
up.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't much like the idea of no matter who I take back, me just rocking into town with just one, whether that's the Reverend or someone else.
Well,
and it is-
you can't leave the plane here.
No.
No. But it's just
Take
I
the
could use the
Reverend
rest.
back. Take the Reverend back, and we're not going to be far behind you. We're not far out of town.
A few
Take him
hours,
back.
yeah.
Keep him
Just a couple of
out
hours.
of. Keep yourself and him, if possible,
yeah.
out of sight.
Just
I'm
just lay low.
sure you're good with people, Sam.
Yeah.
I think
it's
it's potentially worth, up to you, of course, but it might be worth starting the conversation of how to redeem our good Reverend here and the town with the blacksmith.
Well, I mean,
Bill seemed to
Of all
have
people.
Bill
Might-
seemed to
might be
have
a-
his head on his shoulders and was the one running the alternative congregations. He does seem like the kind of man who will be furious, but might also be the one to have the steel in his spine to help the Reverend out of whatever this is.
on the other hand, I mean, I think we'll be getting back just after midnight at this point, and
It's
if everyone else is
like 11
lucky,
or so, yeah.
you're going to get back just before dawn.
Which we know is when something might be happening.
Oh no, it's not that late. It's not that late. You're a few hours out, and
No?
it's just
I thought
beginning
we-
to
Just
set
after sundown.
now. No, it's not too bad.
We were getting back
You-
because the way that we timed it is we were going to be getting back just past sunset, and this fight did not take very long.
Oh yeah,
No.
and we didn't get all the way to the cave.
You
'cause
guys,
left the
you
cave.
guys,
No,
yeah,
no,
you
we
guys,
intercepted.
you guys left at like 5 and took flight, and at like 6 or 6:30 you saw them because you actually they'd made quite a bit of progress,
Yeah.
and you wheel back down. It's like 7ish. You'll get back you'll be getting back as night falls.
All right.
So I think
Good.
it is worth going. Start the process with
All right.
the blacksmith and the Reverend. I feel like the blacksmith is the one that is going to absolutely lay into the Reverend, and I think that's what the Reverend wants.
I think it's what the Reverend deserves.
Righto.
That as well. But
Okay.
I also don't think that the blacksmith's the kind of man to take bloody vengeance on someone. I think he is the right person to put someone on the straight and narrow.
All right.
All right.
So
How about and we'll leave
So-
Lancet with the desert group just in case anything goes
just in
wrong.
case.
Get a message back to town.
Also, ow,
Yeah.
it's done.
Somebody
said.
should have a look at that.
Well
Yeah.
said.
Just
So-
like holding a bullet wound and a knife wound in my side, being like,
we can
"There's
do
problems."
we can do a first aid roll, but I want to get us to a. Oh yeah, perfect. If you
Done.
want to heal a D4, nicely handled.
Can I leave one last point?
Yes.
I would like to, as the first aid happens and as everything goes down, I stand briefly over the sort of not body but unconscious form of Fowler, looking in a pretty bad way, And I will start to once again slowly hum my imagined Huberto theme song. I will go and get one of the little emergency trench shovels from the plane and start digging graves. The two.
Hell
No,
yes.
no, no
Hell
time.
yes.
We're not doing that.
They can be real shallow. It's just
Yeah,
thematic.
okay.
You can
No,
pull me
that's
off in a
awesome.
second
Yeah,
when we
real
don't have
shallow
time.
Yeah, you need to heal up Carter as well. So, just because I'm aware of the time, everyone, you divide yourself between the two horses, pinch some supplies, and then hoist the Reverend into the plane, which takes off, and you'll head back towards the small town Bingham as night begins to fall. It's been a long day, and you're eager to head back to the hotel and finally get some rest. And as you approach and the sun sets behind the town, you see those orange hues stain the sky. It drops even further, and you realize that it is not the sun that is casting these shadows throughout the town. And deeper in, where you can barely see the glint of the gold cross, the church is burning, and the people in the streets, some riled up by the return of Minnie and the absence of the Reverend, no clear direction. The two factions have begun to turn against one another, and the streets, while not running red, are beginning to steer towards violence. And
I'm
that
very glad.
is where we're going to park the session.
I'm so glad. I was like, Sam, make the head of the two factions make friends with each other, please and thank you.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Cool.
There's still a chance this has not gone to violence yet. Clearly some extreme action has been taken, but you might be able to put this to an end. But we will figure that out next time. Day's not over yet. You got a nice long night of putting out fires or getting on a train and leaving ahead of you.
Oh boy.
Unfortunately, I think we've established we're all kind of good people,
Yeah.
even though we're
Bummer.
assholes.
I'm kind of invested.
Yeah.
I feel like the only nice thing we can do for our lovely keeper after ruining all of his fun is be like, you know what? We'll take the
fix your town.
consequences of our actions, sure.
Yeah, we'll try and fix your town.
I got a bit of fun in that one. I shot
even
Jim
if you
pretty
only
good.
do
That was
it
pretty
so that
sweet.
we can.
Yeah, you did shoot Jim
Shot
pretty
Jim
good.
pretty good. I like that. That was good.
You got me a few times. Even if we only do it so that we can just be sanctimonious to the Reverend. Although Dave, you did redeem yourself from shooting me by letting me body a horse. So
That was fucking awesome. Yeah, hell yeah. Did you bane broke someone the first time and you bodied a horse?
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what happens next for Huberto.
You're ahead.
I'll just seed it ahead. My ultimate goal is to, at some point, I know we're technically on the same side, but at some point, to throw the Cataseus bodyguard
big
with
guy?
multiple names.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
yeah.
which one is his real one, off the top of a skyscraper. Just set that
Okay.
up for you.
Die hard
Okay,
him,
cool.
kick him off the...
Yeah, we're gonna die hard him.
All right, sweet. Yeah, first a bane,
Gotta be done.
then a quick die hard. Okay, awesome. All right, well, thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you all for playing. We will be back next week,
Thank you for keeping.
I'll also say that Jim and I are going to be heading off straight after that as we're driving up to Canberra for CanCon. So if anyone's Australia-based and is going to be there, we'll be, there's some games and things, so we might see you there. Otherwise, we'll see you on the stream and then, weeks following. See you soon.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.